Poor guy, the one that is streaming. It has to suffer with me.
Well, here we are.
Yes, we are. Hello, everybody in chat. Hopefully, you guys can hear us.
Point I need
Please
to get this
confirm.
set up.
I think they can. They say we're live. I trust Speed Gaming. They're good. They're good folks.
Yeah, for sure, for sure.
Anyway, welcome to the Tiny Tin number 8, everyone.
Are you excited?
I want more coffee, but yeah.
Yay, Game Boy.
Yeah, yay, Game Boy.
Yay, Game Boy! Starting off with Donkey Kong Land 1. So, I'm Eat Blooded Candy. Who else we got in here?
I'm Bengara.
And I'm Mula. So yeah, we're gonna do this like every time. Me and EBC, and well, Bengara has also mostly been around for commentating, so you might have heard us before. But yeah, we're doing Tiny Tin 8. 4 years of this. Twice a year we're doing this. It's a 10 Game Boy game speedrunning race, which everybody can join. Not sure how many people we have today. I think 8 or 9 that are doing it. We had some more, but those people
We've
couldn't
got
make it.
10, looks like.
Yeah, we have 10 entrants right now.
Well, don't
with
forget
you-
that
with
I'm
you
still
out,
in
so
it.
9.
Yeah, okay. So yeah, we're gonna start very shortly. I'll just quickly go over the list of games you'll see today. So first off, we got Donkey Kong Land, which you're seeing on screen right now from 4 of the runners. We will switch out whenever we have to make sure you always see who is in the lead. So we're definitely checking that. Anybody who's doing the capture, maybe you can get rid of the SGB border of the people on the right if you can. Otherwise, just leave it, I guess. Doesn't matter. But yeah, we start with Donkey Kong Land, then we're going into Brain Drain. After that, Crayon Shinchan 2, Orato Wampaku Gokwadaso. I guess that's how I pronounce it.
Impressive.
Yeah, thank you. 4 game up is Max, also known as Rebel Saver 2, or The Adventures of Star Saver 2, or whatever else you want to call it. The 5th game, we have a little sports game. First time ever, actually, that we have a sports game. Wave Race. We had, what's it called, last year? Motocross Maniacs, but that's more of a platformer. Yeah. So, the 6th game, by popular demand by all runners, Bruce Mission.
I don't
still
understand.
know why. Yeah. But yeah, we'll have some fun with that. 7th game is Rotland, the Japanese version, because there's some issues with the US version. The 8th game is Gargoyles Quest 2, who most people only know from the NES game, Gargoyles Quest. That's what it's called, right, on NES. whatever.
Yep.
Doesn't matter. But yeah, this is the Game Boy version, which is pretty much the same. All the differences you will not actually see or never get used for the speedrun anyways. The 9 game is Out of Gas, which probably nobody knows, but you'll find out about that game. It's pretty cool.
Okay.
And at the end, we have probably the hardest game on the list, Battletoads. Luckily, you don't have to go through the entire game, but only half of it. So
Stage 5 is tough, so...
It is tough, but luckily there is a kind of trick that helps a lot, and hopefully people know about it, because otherwise we're gonna have a bad time. Anyways, we are gonna start shortly. I'm gonna leave the race here, and I think everybody's readied up, so probably should say something in the RRC chat to everybody. That's not how you leave.
Quit.
Quit. There we go.
Learn to SRL.
Yeah, I'm horrible at it because I never use it except for these things.
Yeah, glitchless is still not ready.
Okay. But yeah, we'll start off shortly. I'll be keeping an eye on the chat now because I haven't been paying attention to that.
Yeah, I'll keep an eye on the other runners and see where they are, if they have their stream set in SRL. Everyone's on Donkey Kong Land, by the way.
Yep.
So, yeah. It's always fun to see the different colors of the streams.
Yeah, that's what you get with Game Boy, of course.
Just like different shades of green.
Or gray, or one of the many color schemes that Super Game Boy 2 will do.
Race is almost underway.
Yeah.
3,
Countdown.
2, and 1. Alright, and they're off.
Now we wait for the delay.
Now we wait for them to actually be off, yeah.
You guys think of that layout by Mom.
It's amazing, like
It's
always.
so good.
Yeah.
That is one buffed up Game Boy.
It's an angry Game Boy.
It's really good. Like last year we had Pingu, like a Pingu Game Boy.
Yeah,
What was
year
the year
before we had Wario? We had Wario.
Yeah. So yeah, Mom always does a really good job of these. Man Over Mars, we call him Mom. But everybody probably knows him with all
There
the
you go.
emotes.
And they're off. So Donkey Kong Land 1 for the Game Boy. At first thought, you're like, oh, this looks very similar to the SNES version. Yeah. I would say the developers get pretty ambitious with this game in terms of the graphics. If you look at like Hero's stream in the top left corner, you can see the graphics are a bit better on his end just because of, you know, the video quality and whatever else. But like playing it on like an actual like full-on green that you see on like Aerials or Smart Alex, like some of these graphics start to blend together, and it can be really hard to see some of the enemies.
Which is a problem for a speedrun, of course. If you're playing it casually, it might not be that bad, because you can take your time with everything. But yeah, for a speedrun, you definitely have to pretty much know where all the enemies are, because sometimes it's really hard to make them out and make last split-second decisions.
Yeah.
Hey.
And go ahead, man.
They actually did make a complete remake of Donkey Kong Country on the Game Boy Color, but I'd say that Donkey Kong Land on the Game Boy is a better game.
Yeah, the country game is pretty awful.
The issue with Donkey Kong Land 1 is the controls are just, they're slippery. Like you see them in an ice level right now, so you're expecting ice physics, but think of that literally on every single level of the game. But what you're gonna see is that you're gonna see them dodge the word Kong throughout their playthrough, because in Donkey Kong Land, when you spell out Kong, that's how you save your game. So obviously saving this game is going to cost you a lot of time, and if you're wanting to contend for a top 3 spot, you don't want to spell Kong. If you're wanting to play this game safe, if you're playing it casually, you're going to want to spell Kong just so when you game over, you don't have to start from the beginning of the game again.
Yeah, maybe some people will actually do that for safety reasons, because otherwise you have to play a lot again, which is not that bad. It's the goal is only to finish World 1, which isn't that hard, just 10 minutes or something.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Actually, that's actually quite a nice feature, because you can basically save after every level, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. The Kong is never too hard to find.
In Donkey Kong Land 2, you have to get, like, in the world to the shop, and then there you have to buy a save or something, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But in this game, like, the partnering is kind of, I don't hate it, but I don't like it. So, you know how typically in Donkey Kong Country you see both Diddy and Donkey on the screen at the same time? Well, in this case here, you only get to see one of the Kongs at a time, and when you get hit, you're like stunned for a good like second or two before like the next Kong comes out to play. And swapping between them actually takes a decent amount of time as well. The level that you see everyone on right now, so levels you see Hero, Alec, and Why Do You Look on. This level is deceiving. So with the ropes and the screen up, you can actually fall faster than the screens can scroll. So if you're needing to go down at all, you actually need to pace yourself going down, because if you fall just straight down to the next level, even though you know where the light is going to be, if you fall past the screen plane, you just straight up die, even though there is a platform underneath of you. So you do need to be careful on how fast you do fall down the stage.
Yeah, it's a problem that also is in Donkey Kong Land 2, if I remember correctly.
3 as well, yeah.
In 3 as well, yeah. But then the levels are a little bit better designed, especially in the third game, where you don't really fall down that much. In this one and in 2, it's definitely an issue. 2 is definitely a better game than this, but it's also a lot harder than this.
Yeah, I agree with that. Another issue with this are the ropes. If you remember in Donkey Kong Country for the SNES, like sometimes the ropes, like if you went and jumped that a rope, you kind of just fell through it type deal, or like fell across it. It's probably doubly worse in this version. The rope control is very slippery, and the grab box for the ropes is pretty bad.
Yeah, luckily the worst levels in this game you won't be seeing, which are the underwater levels, because sadly the visibility in those are, yeah, it's pretty awful. And then you have the clouds levels, which are just very, very slow.
Yeah,
You have to stand on the platform.
I think the worst levels in this game are the ones where you have to stand on the platforms and jump on the platforms.
Yeah.
To make them turn. I think those are the worst, but luckily we won't get to see them in this marathon, because those are towards the end of the game. If you are interested in this game, it's actually a pretty neat speedrun. It's very tight movement. Even with it being a relatively bad game casually, it is a cool speedrun.
Someone asked, what's up with the hearts at the bottom of the screen? That is your amount of lives you have in this game.
Yeah. Yep. You don't get the normal, like, the balloon head or whatever it is with the number. You just get hearts. And your hearts will, after so many, will just start to overflow, and you don't get to see them until you just start dying, obviously. I will say the music in this game is quite good, though.
It's a
Yeah,
Donkey Kong
David
game.
Wise did a really good job of like translating the tracks to the Game Boy format, so props to him for that. One of the best tracks, called Beaver Bop, you will not be hearing, because that's also a song that starts in the second world in the ruins areas. That's a pretty good one.
The Game Boy sound chip might actually be one of my favorite things about the system. It's so different from most other systems. and it does like dual audio really nice.
Yeah, there are some amazing tracks that got made on Game Boy that you would not expect to be able to be possible, actually. Like the one I'm always thinking of is the ending epilogue music from Turtles Follow the Foot Clan, which is just an amazing composition, actually, and it goes straight into the well-loved Turtles theme. So.
So here you can see Hero right now is on basically the rope auto scroller where he has to go up and down. The rope speed is fine and all. Again, the issue is sometimes going up and down. The hitboxes in this game are something to be desired as well. I have definitely been hit by something and not actually be hit by it at all, like not have it be within the actual sprite itself. So Hero and all the other players that get to the stage need to be a little extra cautious on how they position their Kong on the rope. Diddy is honestly the perfect choice for this because Diddy is small. If you have Donkey is bigger, so that hitbox is just slightly more padded around the actual Kong itself. So you actually the hit doesn't need to go into the sprite. It just needs to be within that padding of the sprite. And it's about another pixel or two outside of that sprite to get hit. So you definitely got to be careful about that. And then Hero taking a warp to the end of the stage there, just to be done with it. So Hero is actually on the first boss. So for those of you that don't know, stingrays can fly outside of water.
Of course.
They're very dangerous.
Yeah, he's done with the donkeys. So
Hero been moving on to Brain Drain.
Yeah, he's gonna drain his brain.
This game is cool. I never played it up until our reveal, and it's just a very cool game. So you're seeing here that up in the top left corner, there's a pattern. So you'll see some circles, some squares, and some more circles. And the game is going to scramble them up on the main screen. It's going to be up to the player to mimic what's up in the top left corner in the allotted amount of time. It's just kind of it's a fun, cool game, honestly. And it's random every single time that you play it, right?
Yeah, everything is always random. Even if you lose a life on one stage, it just gives you another configuration, so you always have to figure it out completely again. For this race, the goal actually is beat the 30 stages. There's 50 in total, and we're playing on rookie difficulty, which basically means they're just normal puzzles. If you go on higher difficulties, there are stage hazards like squares getting blacked out so you can't see which icon is behind it and things like that.
Yeah, and Why Do You Look just finishes up the first boss of Donkey Kong Land. Kind of took a little more risky approach. Instead of jumping on the edges of the side of the screen, they were jumping from the actual base ground, which is... It kind of gives you more of a chance of getting hit. And when you get hit with a Kong, like I said, you're going to lose a second or two just from getting hit because of the stun. Alec is now on the first boss of Donkey Kong Land as well.
Is Hero the favorite to win this? I don't know.
I have no idea, honestly.
The thing about this, and you talk about that when later games come around, is that there's a lot of games in this list that can really set you back or push you way forward. So depending a little bit on the luck maybe that some people will have, we might see some interesting lead changes later on. These two first games, Brain Drain already can kind of screw you over if you get really bad patterns and you can't figure them out in time, making you lose lives. You can game over in this game, which Basically means you would have to restart, but there are passwords. The runners are allowed to use them to get back, but if they haven't written down the password, that's of course going to be a problem. But yeah, there's a few of these games in here that can really make a difference on the leaders boards.
Yeah, it was fun to watch people practice this game because it's like, I understand why you're practicing, but at the same time, like, you don't really practice brain drain. Like, you just kind of like understand like formation, understand like how to rotate the stuff to make it work faster. But I mean, you can see that everyone's within a few levels of each other right now in brain drain. Like Hero, you know, obviously ahead going into brain drain, and now why do you look at Alec like right on his tail?
Yeah, it will also depend on how everybody will use their flashes, which skips a level. I know Heroes strategy is to do it on level 27, 28, and 29, and then finish up the final puzzle of the game. Maybe some people will have different choices there. So you can also just use, if you really get stuck on one, you can like spend one just to get through it faster. That might be a good idea.
Yeah, and then just looking at aerial screen, like you're seeing some of the issues with the ropes already. So those snakes crawl from down the top of the screen. So if you actually don't have the top of the rope visible, the snakes will just keep coming at you. And the snakes aren't random by any means, but they do pose an issue because they start from such the low part of the top of the screen. So you kind of have a ton of time to react, especially on those ropes right there because they're just so skinny and short to begin with.
Yeah, Hero already 20 levels in for Brain Drain. Yeah, it's a really cool puzzle game if you want to have a chill time. It doesn't take that long, especially not on rookie difficulty to get through it. But if you like a challenge, you can go for the other difficulties, of course. There's also other types of game in it. Like this is the normal game. There's also Brain Race in it. So yeah, it's a fun game. If you ever see it, maybe pick it up.
It looks like playing with a color scheme actually greatly makes it easier. It gives your brain more differentiation between the different tile sets.
For sure, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is a Super Game Boy Enhanced game. That's also the reason why Donkey Kong Land and Brain Drain are the starting games this time around. Because Super Game Boy Enhanced games take a little more time to load up. So we put them at the start of the race for people who are playing on Super Game Boy 2 compared to people playing on emulator who don't have an issue with loading times. So just to get these out of the way already.
That is an interesting thing to talk about, by the way. If you're speedrunning Game Boy games, you kind of want to avoid the Super Game Boy functions because they take more processing power and therefore take longer to load your game.
Yeah, that's why usually the Super Game Boy Enhanced games get speedrun on GameCube with either the disc or the GB interface. Because that negates all those things.
If you use color changes, it doesn't matter, but if the game is SGB enhanced, it uses extra colors drawn from the SNES system, and that uses CPU power that makes the game have longer loading times, basically.
Yeah, and the border it uses for the games, like the special borders, always takes away resources time to just load them up. And a very good example to see how that really makes a game longer a little bit is like Wario Land 2, because every time you go into a different area, you get a new border, so it has to load that, and it slows the game down quite a bit.
Yo, shout out to Shin-chan.
Hello, Chin-chan. Welcome back to Tiny 10 for the second time.
That's
He has
the
so
game
many
I'm
games.
with.
Yeah,
it has 5 on Game Boy alone.
5 on Game Boy alone, that's right.
So Shin-Chan is a game I'm pretty familiar with. Not like I ever ran a Shin-Chan game in my life. So with Shin-Chan 2, even Shin-Chan 1, which I don't think we've had on the Tiny 10 yet, this is a game where you have limited health, but you don't know how much health you have. It's pretty good in that regard. So as Shin-Chan, you're gonna pretty much hold right and go across these stages, and along the way you're gonna come across mini games. You want to purposely fail all of these mini games. So you saw the sumo wrestling game right away. You want to just hold left and just mash A, just to fall over out of the ring and be done with it. You're gonna see a soccer mini game coming up, which Shin is just gonna move out of the way of the goal and let the guy score. Here on stage 2, you get to talk to this clerk, and Shin's gonna get shut down here pretty quick. And if you choose the correct option, you are finished with stage 2. You just skip on to stage 3 at that point. With stage 3, there are no mini games in this one. However, you have a kid that chases you throughout the stage. You're gonna see Hiro collect these like smiley faces. Smiley faces is one indication that you have a hit point, and every time that Shin jumps, the kid behind you is going to jump. So the speed strat to this stage is exactly what Hiro just did there. So you're gonna do like a super jump right at the edge of the plane, and then jump on top of that branch. If you were to step into that grass underneath of that branch, Shin's movement speed is going to decrease by about 50%, and it's going to be extremely slow. Another route to that as well is making the kid jump behind you and jumping on top of the kid and then getting on top of the branch that way. You're going to see Hiro kind of like jump fairly early and be a little more cautious with this. The hitboxes in this game are awful. You actually don't need to get hit at all in your sprite. You can be about 5 pixels away from Shin and you can still take damage or a death. So whenever somebody is coming up behind you, like that kid was, when you enter a minigame, that kid is going to be right behind you again as soon as you exit that minigame. So upon leaving that minigame, you're going to get hit immediately. And if you don't have any extra soda cans or smiley face coins, you're going to die and have to redo the entire stage over again. With Shin-Chan 2, I don't believe there are continues, so once you've lost all your lives, it's game over. You start the whole game from the beginning again. So yeah, Shin-Chan, there's no bosses until the very end, and you face off against your principal, so...
At least it's a very short game.
It's an exceptionally short game. Blind, I think this game took me about 15 minutes blind, and the speed run of this is around like what, 6 minutes, 6.5 minutes. But it's quite fun.
Yeah, most of these Shin-Chan games are. The third and the fifth are actually just a series of mini games. So they're not really platformers like this one, the first one, or the fifth one. The fifth one is probably the most normal game. It doesn't include any mini games or anything that slow you down. Unless you actually go for them, you can go for them, but you don't have to. But yeah, 1 and 2, excuse me, are like, yeah, between every stage or between every half stage, there is like a mini game you have to complete or not complete, depending on which ending you're going to. But yeah, we'll definitely see the other Shin-Chan games in the future because they're just really fun to put in these races.
Yeah, if you're wondering why Hiro was stopping and like inching towards that clerk in that one stage, there is a very, very tight window that you can jump over that clerk and skip that cutscene. Oh. So that's another issue with this, is that you can't clip edges, you just fall through them. So in this Shin-Chan game, the fastest way to go up a hill is to jump up it. Walking up it reduces your speed by like 25%, it's awful. And some of the jumps in this game are a little tough, and there's no like edge clipping by any means. Like if you clip the edge, you're going to die because you're just going to fall through the platform itself. Coming up in the stage, there are going to be moving platforms that you have to jump on to move. Right now, Hero is in the worst minigame of the game, and this is where you lose runs. This is paper, rock, scissors, and your goal here is to lose paper, rock, scissors, and then guess the direction that they choose. If you lose and guess the direction correctly, you're out immediately. Otherwise, you have to sit there and play until either you win, and then you go on to 2 more rounds, or you lose and immediately get out of that minigame. So, Hero's on the moving platforms right now. Once those platforms are moving, Shin cannot move at all. So here, Shin's going to use his first attack, which is the Snot Bubble, and then he's going to move on to try and get the Action Bastard suit, which he's going to use to fight his principal. So the trick to this is that your principal's got to hide behind these pillars to guard himself. Your goal with the Action Bastard suit is to shoot and stun lock the principal on the edge of the screen until the principal's gone. If you lose your Action Bastard suit before the principal is gone, you need to jump on the principal's head, and the principal's movement is very, very sporadic and kind of crazy. You don't know when he is going to go behind those pillars. And the hitbox and the jump accuracy to hit him on the top of his head is insane.
That was a very nice kill.
That was a very good fight.
That was amazing. It's really not fun to run out of the action power-up.
So yeah, Hero is now done with Shin-chan, and be moving on to, what is it, Max,
indeed.
Another game I guess, kind of sort of familiar with. Made the leaderboard for it, so Rumble Saber 2, aka Max, depending on what region you're from, never came out in America, by the way. So what's going to happen here is that you're going to try and use this single shot as much as possible, because the single shot is just overpowered in this game. The P's are for power-ups, or not power-ups, your health, your power suit, rather. So if you ever see Hero get hit, there's a chance he's going to go grab a P to rebuild his suit. There's going to be a power-up that looks like a gun, that's your weapon power-up. And then there's going to be a power-up that looks like a thruster, and that's for when you just saw Hero falling into that pit, he has a thruster to get out of that pit so he doesn't die immediately. Stage 1 boss, the intended way to fight the Stage 1 boss is to hang from the ceiling and shoot between the flowers. However, if you get the first upgrade of the weapon, you do an alternate shot that shoots one diagonally, and if you just run to the bottom corner of that middle platform, you can hit the bottom of the boss without having to do the intended strategy for that, and you can just kill it immediately. One little cool thing about this game is when you press up, you saw that little hook come out of Hero's machine. I call it the plunger, basically, because it looks like a plunger. And that allows you to attach yourself to a ceiling. Hopefully what we'll get to see is that we'll get to see that being manipulated with movement and momentum in the later stages, where you can use that to swing Max across the screen itself. The biggest thing with this stage is to get the Fireball upgrade, which is the third and final upgrade for the weapon. So the next weapon power-up that Hero is going to get is actually going to downgrade him back to the single shot, which he is going to want in later stages. The Fireball is great because it goes through walls. So this boss that he's about to fight, I call it the dog boss because it has 2 legs and it lifts its leg up. The Fireball will actually shoot through the leg of the boss and hit it without having to wait, so...
Yeah, meanwhile, a little update on Shin-chan. Smart Alec ran out earlier of the Action Bastard suit, so you saw that it was a little harder for him, and he actually died on the boss. Wadiola did the fight perfectly, so he's gone to the next game.
So here on the stage that Hero's on for Max, typically you don't have to kill anything at all in your levels. However, in stage 3, you need to kill everything on the screen in order for the doors to unlock. So here, this is where the Fireball really comes into play because the Fireball goes through walls. So in that first screen, you saw Hero shoot one of the enemies right through the wall, and you're gonna see that used quite a bit for the rest of the stage. Typically, what you'd want at the end of the stage, though, is to get either the single shot or the alternate shot to face off against. I think it's the rabbit. Otherwise, yeah. this stage is actually quite prone to soft locking. So let's hope we don't get a team soft lock in this.
I'm definitely hoping. Always praying for the soft lock. And there are a few games in this race where it can happen, so...
Yeah, there are. So here, this whole room is cycle-based. So what you want to do is you want to immediately get in, shoot the first insect, and then fall down, or go up immediately and shoot the second insect, and then fall straight down immediately before the other one shoots. Otherwise, you have to wait for the actual shot to go through, and it wastes a ton of time. So all these screens are cycle-based, so it all depends on how your movement is throughout this entire stage. This entire game is heavily influenced by perfect movement.
Yeah,
it's a steak boss, not so funny.
Yeah, Smart Alec is really having some trouble with the principal boss. He has died 3 times already, sadly.
The principal is tough. I said, like if you run out of your Action Blaster suit, like it's hard. And the reason that the Action Blaster suit is hard is because you have to time your shots as well. It's one of those you can't just mash the shoot button and it's going to be all fine and dandy. You need to wait like 2 or 3 seconds depending on where you are positioned on the screen versus where the principal is positioned on the screen as well. And from there, you need to count like 1001, 1002, and then take a shot, or rhythmically time your shots. You know, if you shoot one, it's going to miss, but the second one's going to hit guaranteed, kind of like Hero was doing. So.
Sorry, was looking at the chat there for a bit, kind of zoned out. Yeah, Smart Alec might be in trouble. I don't know actually if Shin-Chan has continues or not, so...
I don't remember if the second one does. The first one does not, but...
Oh, but he does.
Alec got him.
He got it.
Alright.
So you can see here that Rave Tuba is doing the first boss the intended way. So you can see it's actually quite tough to do. You can see right now that Hero and Rave Tuba and Why Do You Look are all missing like their shield on the front of their mechanic suit, right? The next hit they take is that they're going to lose their mechanic suit altogether, and they will no longer have the fireball power up. We're going to alternate down to the angled shot, which in my opinion is the worst gun or the worst power up in the game. From there, you have to collect these Ps, which you just saw Hero get to upgrade their suit back up again. So, and if you look at the bottom right-hand corner of the screen, you see a life with 2 stars, 1 star. That's their hit points. So as they lose, you see the stars go away. There's lives, there's thruster counts, but those really shouldn't matter with this game at all.
Yeah. Speaking of soft locking, by the way, Hero is prone to doing that. If you watched, I think, last Tiny Tan or the Tiny Tan
remix.
Or the remix, yeah. Yeah. A lot of bad stuff happens to Hero all the time. That's why this time he's actually playing on emulator, just in case something like that would happen again.
Yeah, so one of the issues with Max... Well, there's a lot of issues with Max, but one of the biggest issues with Max is that the run and shoot button are the same button. So think of Mario, right? You have the flower power, you want to run, but you also want to have shoot the flower power, so you have to let go of the run button. Max is worse because every time that Hero is shooting, he has to mash the run button. So you actually slow down for a couple frames every time you shoot. And this is the rabbit boss, so Hero's going to go for a quick kill here by hanging on the platform.
Yeah,
wow.
I didn't even see the boss.
I do like this art style that they did with certain Game Boy games like Super Mario Brothers 1, Super Mario Land 1, and Batman, where like everything's super tiny, but it works super well on Game Boy.
Yeah. And some of the jumps that you're seeing here, if you actually don't hold the sprint button down, you can't make the jump. So the sprint button is actually pretty handy. But yeah, like I said, every time that you shoot, you're going to slow down. So some of the more optimal routing through this game, there isn't much lag until the very end of the game, but some of the more optimal routing into this game is actually not killing many sprites at all and just running past them. That way you don't have to slow down for those couple of frames. The iframes do last forever in this game too, so. There is a glitch in the game for when you fall into a pit. If you press up to get the plunger going, you have a couple of frames that the game thinks that you're on solid ground, which lets you jump while you're in the quote-unquote death pit, which you can actually use to your advantage in the second stage and in the final stage. This boss is the worst.
If you don't know how to deal with
Yeah.
it properly, for sure. Yeah.
If you lose control of that boss, that boss is a nightmare.
Yeah, speaking more of the graphics for sure, because Crazy Awesome in the chat says he doesn't like the Game Boy games with the big sprites. There are indeed few that actually do those pretty well. I guess Super Mario Land 2 is one that does it pretty okay. Another
Nubo.
one,
Nubo.
does it pretty okay. I'm also thinking of maybe Hammering Harry or
Right.
even, damn it, I had another one in my head and now I completely lost it. Miracle Adventure of E-Sparks.
Jack Blue.
No. But yeah, there are not that many that really do it properly.
Ultraman Ball.
Yeah,
All the
that's-
Ultraman games. Choco.
Yeah. But yeah, the most well-known games that try big sprites don't do it well often, sadly.
So Hero's in the final stage of Max right now. He has to be fairly careful. He only has one thruster left, and when you die, you have to start this entire stage over again. He has the Fireball power-up, which is what you want for this final boss. But if he gets hit one more time, he loses that Fireball power-up. He's good now. So he's gonna go to the final boss, and the final boss has like 3 heads that each have their own separate HP bar. Fireball should make quick work of almost all of these. It looks like a bullet hell, and this is where the game really gets super laggy. But it's honestly not all that bad.
Yeah, compared to the first game in the series, this
Oh,
is nothing.
Boy.
But
Yeah, Rumble Saber 1 is rough.
Yeah, for sure. If you want to hear more about this game and the first one, me and EBC do have a podcast about Game Boy called This Is Game Boy, and Max is one of the episodes we did, so you can always check that out if you want
and then-
more information about the games.
And Hero on to Wave Race now. 550
Oh,
CP.
man.
So I think he just needs to get, 15 points and he's done? Is that how that worked?
Yeah, 15 should get you the win for sure. Even if you tie first place, points-wise, you still win, so you can take it easy. But basically what you want is to win the first 3 out of the 4 races, because those are the easiest ones for sure. And then you're good. Then you can, screw up the last stage all you want. You should be fine, and you should win.
Man, look at that beautiful screen refresh for the map.
Mhm.
Just listen to Sea-Doo's roar. So, you can see the map in the bottom right, but you also see a bar above the map, kind of like going down and refilling. That's the boost bar, basically. That's your nitrous, so to speak. You can give yourself boosts throughout, and then along the entire race itself, there's going to be power-ups that you can pick up. I honestly don't know what the power-ups do, because I've actually never really played Wave Race. Do you know, Mo? Because I think you've actually played this.
I played it, but I haven't beaten it yet. But I think for this CC, they actually do not do anything. I know picking up the squid, or the... Yeah, is it a squid? No, it's not a squid, it's a jellyfish. It kind of gives you like a flashing thing, making it feel like you're invincible or something, but invincible to what? Because there's no other hazards. But I think on the other difficulties, there are some mines on the field and stuff like that, and I think you maybe even get a power-up where you can shoot the other players. I think that's what it's for.
So to give everyone an update, let's see here, we got Mr. Pup G on Donkey Kong Land, it looks like. Let's see here. Ariel on Max, Legs is on Shin Chan. Glitchless is on Brain Drain. Jim B is on Shin Chan. And yeah.
And the other 4 people you see here.
You see on the screen, yeah.
Everybody's pretty close together. It's just Hero has a.
Yeah, I don't know where Infinite Mystery is. So anyone that doesn't have those streams set, I don't know because I'm pulling off of SRL. So
Infinite did join the race at the start, and then he went offline for mysterious reasons.
well, I think he's playing on. I think he's playing on Retro Gaming Live.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh, we have our first forfeit. Mr. PUBG has forfeited because he has too much lag with OBS dropping frames. That's unfortunate.
That's too bad. That's definitely something that sucks if you can't join for a reason like that. I know Infinite Mystery is having the same issue actually, and that's why he's playing on RG. I didn't understand what I was saying earlier today, but yeah. He also has some connection issues for sure.
God, those sound effects are so good.
So Mo, when's V-Rally?
Probably never.
After Shaq Fu gets put in. You know what's
so many amazing games that will never make the list, unfortunately.
Yeah, very amazing games for sure.
You know what would be good too about the Shaq Fu going into the Tiny 10 is that it would have to be the first game because it's Super Game Boy enhanced.
yeah.
What a way to start a Tiny 10, that's all I'm saying.
Followed up by Fist of the North Star.
Oh no!
Yeah, we're gonna stay clear from that one as
And
well.
then Alien 3 is the final game.
Yeah. The run will never finish then.
Oh man, no one would finish
Especially
that
not
race.
for blind people. Yeah.
The unfortunate 10.
You can make that on your own or something.
Watch me have 20 entrants, Mo.
Yeah, probably.
Fantastic. So you can see like why the angle shot is kind of bad. If you look at Rave Tuba and Smart Alex screen, whenever you shoot one forward, and then that means your next shot is going to be the angle shot. So if you're approaching an enemy, you kind of need to be aware of what shot you're on because both the angled and the front shot don't shoot at the same time. It's kind of honestly, I think the power up is completely useless throughout most of this game. But why do you look though playing it real risky here with no hit points at all, taking on the final boss in the bullet hell?
Do we know why Grennan Hero is just standing there?
Yeah, just like I mentioned earlier, if you first 3 races in first place, you have enough points, so you basically do not have to do anything. Just
I
let
guess
the
not
others finish
doing
and race
anything
them.
is faster because of lag.
It might actually be, yeah, for sure.
So you can see with why do you look going on with that final boss, and unfortunately taking that death, turn into basically the Avenging Spirit, and it takes a while to get off of the screen. But you can see there that Why Do You Look did that little glitch in the pit to try and save a thruster throughout the entire section. This last part here is typically the part where you would use the momentum to swing across the entire pit. But we have Hero on the Maru's mission. What a gem of a game.
A full game ahead now. More than a game ahead.
Yeah, more than a game ahead now. So Maru's mission.
Hey, everybody wanted Maru, so here it is. And this is one of those games that might make or break your race. We'll see how it goes for Hero.
This game is prone to soft locking too.
Yeah.
So Maru's mission is the biggest RNG fest of this entire list. There are power-ups in each stage that are not guaranteed except for three. The whip in the desert, the really crappy bomb in the Chimera stage, and that stupid minecart in the horror stages. So here what you're going to see happen is that in the bottom right corner, you're going to see a heart with some numbers. That's your hit points. In Maru's mission, you have no lives, and once you die, you have to start the entire game over again. This game is about 20 to 25 minutes long, which means if you die in the final stage, you get to play the entire game over again. So you just lost 20 or 25 minutes. So the way the game works is that it's kind of sectioned off. The first boss you fight will give you a weapon to defeat the second boss of the world that you're in. The power-ups in the game, like I said, are random except for 3 of them. One of them is going to give you like homing balls that throw around. Another one's going to be like comets that come from the left side of the screen. There's going to be like a vertical laser that takes up the entire screen, and there's going to be one that literally just takes you to the end of the level. Yeah, by the way, if you have epilepsy, this is not the game for you to watch. It's very, very blinky. So, Hero is going on to the Insector boss. This is your first bit of randomness in the game, where the boss can just immediately break itself into a bunch of bees, and you can't hit it until it regroups itself. So see how lucky Hero gets. Hero's so far lucky, but he has the crappy weapon that arcs over the enemy. Just like in Friday the 13th, now he has to wait for the bees to collect themselves to go back into the boss to hit them again and try and defeat him.
Fantastic game design.
Hey,
it's one of the best games.
People wanted it.
Yeah. It's really fun to see this in the race just because so many things can go wrong and it's unbelievable.
So, this game came out, the version we're playing right now is the American and European version. This is the merciful version of the game, where after you've destroyed a boss, souls come out. Oh, we're about to save Tara Reid for the first time. So we get the souls that come out, and you collect the souls to regain your hit points. In the Japanese version, there are no souls after you defeat a boss. If you don't maintain your health for the 25 minutes, you're not going to finish the game. So here we go. For some reason, we gotta save Tara Reid from the Sharknado coming in. So now we're scuba diving, throwing forks at sharks and stingrays.
Like you do. That's a normal thing to do.
Question in chat: does each weapon do a different value of damage? No, they sure don't.
Dracula.
Is this the stage with the Chimera? Yeah. So, in this stage, introduces the Chimeras. So, when you shoot them, they break off into three animals. The Chimera lore, right? So, Hero is not going to go forward until that weapon is off the screen. That is the bomb weapon, and that weapon is completely, well, one of the more useless weapons in the game. If a Chimera touches Hero at any time during this stage, that Chimera will carry Hero back to the beginning of the stage, and you'll have to go through it again. Hero opting to take the more difficult route through the stage, the bottom route, instead of jumping off the screen to go out of bounds.
Yeah, the reason why is because one of the Chimeras can actually spawn up there without you being able to see it and just take you back to the beginning of the level, so yeah.
One of my favorite things in Maru's mission is if you guys watch the health count closely in the bottom right corner, those numbers will oftentimes turn into symbols. So sometimes you'll get a heart, a diamond, a spade, whatever it is that the Game Boy wants to throw at you. It's so good. So this boss here, he's going against Wolfman. And the only time that you can hit Wolfman is when he goes into his maniac stance like that. Whenever he goes into his normal stance like he is right now, you actually can't hurt him at all. And fun fact with Wolfman, if you let Wolfman live long enough, he actually breaks into 2 different people. Where like the Maniac version comes out and the normal version stays put as well. So it's actually a pretty crazy boss fight. But he's going to give you garlic to face off against Dracula. And Dracula has a very, very quick kill associated with it if Hero can pull it off.
Yeah, I think the people from Jellicoe kind of mixed up the lore of Wolfman and Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. Because it makes more sense that it would be that guy if he splits up into two personalities, one being a good guy and one being a bad guy. The Wolfman is just, well, he's a Wolfman. So I think they might have screwed it up a little bit there.
Why is Maru wearing this minecart as his pants?
He's got the minecart, man. It has such good music. It's a completely useless power-up.
Yeah. Nothing about this game makes sense.
So hopefully we won't see this, but when you fall into a pit, the screen wraps about 7 or 8 times rapid fire. So again, if you have eye strain issues, don't watch it. So here you're gonna see Hero immediately hold right down to this platform, press select on his D-pad to switch over to the garlic and just mash like crazy right into Dracula's face.
It's a lot of garlic.
It's a lot of garlic.
Man, this truly is a stinky game, isn't it?
Yeah, it really is. Another fun fact about this is that in the American and European version, that's a turtle. In the Japanese version, it's a frog. That's why the turtle jumps so high in the air.
Gotta censor those frogs.
It's true, man. We already know that the frogs save the world, so...
Medusa.
So this stage here is the first threat to a game over. This stage is where falling into a pit becomes a reality, and also dying to the boss becomes a reality. Gollum is the boss for this stage here, and Gollum can turn into a ball immediately, and Gollum, without warning, can almost drain about 500 hit points of your health in a matter of like 2 or 3 seconds. It all depends based off of luck. So if Gollum wants to be nice, Hero will get a quick kill or could get a quick kill on this. If Gollum doesn't want to play nice, Hero could lose a lot of health in this fight.
Yeah, or time. Even if he doesn't get hit, it's sometimes like... One time I played this game when fighting Gollum, it took 3 minutes before him to get back into his vulnerable state. I just couldn't do anything at all. But yeah,
so
he got the quick kill.
Hero got lucky, yep. So Gollum is going to give you a shield so you can bounce Cheerios back at Medusa. You'll see why we call them Cheerios. So here we have the Medusa stage. Again, like you're prompted right with a pit right away. So again, like this stage, again, think of like Super Mario Land, like how you're going and when you're going against the Egyptian thing in like Second World or First World, whatever it is. Kind of like a very similar resemblance to that. But falling into a pit in this game is real because sometimes Maru will just cling to the ceiling and sometimes it won't. You don't know when it's going to happen. So you're just like, I'm not clinging to a ceiling, and you don't cling and you just fall into a pit. In the US and European version, if you fall into a pit 3 times, it's game over. I think it's also dependent on your health as well. So Medusa looks really good in her portrait. Nothing wrong with her at all. So here, Hero's going to equip a shield by pressing select, and he's going to hope for Medusa to shoot Cheerios, which she did. And the best part about Medusa is if the closer you are, wow, he's getting really good luck. The closer you are to Medusa when she shoots out the Cheerios, the faster you can kill Medusa. So Medusa has multiple attacks. She can throw some rocks, she can extend her snake, and she can shoot Cheerios at her.
Wow.
Yes, she extends her snake. Yeah.
That's an attack.
It's pretty effective.
Yeah, this is a PG-13 stream version.
So good.
What a game. See, it just had to be in it. I mean, you cannot have this game in your race. And after 8 editions, it was finally time to do it.
What a game, indeed. How are we going to Egypt?
Hardest boss in the game in Egypt.
Sphinx is really hard. So moving on to the other players here, we have Smart Alec now going into Maru's mission. We have Why Do You Look going into the Dracula stage of Maru. And we have Rave Tuba on Wave Race right now. So
Fighting
Hero again
Angel.
is going to wait and not get that scroll wheel. So what that scroll wheel does, it turns Maru into a whip. And every attack that Maru can get through a power-up, Maru is able to move. However, if Maru gets the whip power-up, when it is used, Maru cannot move and will stand in place and produce 8 different Marus around him in a whip fashion to kill everything around him. It's an extremely great power-up when in a speedrun. So here we're going to face off against the Sphinx.
I mean the Joker.
The Riddler. Alright, chat. Answer me this riddle without looking at the screen. What has 4 legs at dawn, 2 legs at noon, and 3 legs at night? Oldest riddle in the game. Alright, well, Hero just defeated the Sphinx, so...
Why are you fighting angels in Egypt?
Wouldn't ask questions in this game?
This is a power-up.
This is a power-up. This is the vertical laser power-up. So now, Hero's about to fight Isis. I kid you not, that is the boss's name is Isis.
It's fine.
It's fine. So what Hero's going to hope for, Hero's going to probably go left. Oh, he's going to go right. He's going to go for a quick kill. So he's going to hope that Isis is going to do something called the laser attack, which is what Isis is doing. Unlike Cyclops, which was the first boss of the game, when Isis does the laser attack, Isis is still prone to getting hit, unlike Cyclops was. When Cyclops does an attack, Cyclops cannot be injured at all. So
Yeah, it is indeed Isis the Egyptian god and not the known Isis.
it's fine.
But still have to fight him anyways.
Yeah. So here we go. We get to save Tara Reid again. This is what, Sharknado 3 now?
Yeah.
I mean, they're at 6 right now. So.
Well,
Yeah. It's
better
okay.
get a
No-
Maru's sequel going.
Yeah, Maru's mission 2.
So another fun fact too is that on the map screen that you guys don't get to see for very long, there's little white dots and those are your locations that you go to. In the American and European version, you start off in America and you progress into Japan. In the Japanese version, you actually start in Japan and the final stage is in America.
Interesting.
Fun fact.
So 999 is the max amount of health?
999 is the life cap. There is no overflow either.
Time to go fight Calbalos.
So
Because that's a well-known villain.
Yeah, he's well known in Grecian mythology, I think.
this is probably the
Cal-
worst
Cal-
world in the game, honestly.
Yeah, I don't know what this is supposed to even be. I
Well,
mean,
like, the reason it's the worst is like these dragons stop the screen. Like you can't progress until you kill that dragon. And then you have like these sea lion horse things flying around for no reason whatsoever.
yeah, did it say which country this is supposed to be actually?
Don't know.
Because, like, yeah, so Calbalos is a mistranslation of Cerberus. So the Hydra and the Cerberus are, of course, from Greek mythology. So this is supposed to be Greece, I guess. But I'm not sure why there's cacti in Greece. Because, yeah, I don't know.
There's cacti in Greece.
Are there?
Probably.
I don't know. Is there even desert in Greece?
Who knows, man?
So, Hydra, Hero get good luck on the Hydra. The Hydra can actually jump into the pit and waste some time before jumping out of the pit and being able to hit it again, obviously. I would say this boss is pretty dumb too once you get to it because it can just jump off the screen and you have no idea where it goes. just listen to this music. It's so good. Oh, never mind. I get the dumb boss music.
So Cerberus is a cat?
It's Kelbolos. It can be anything you want.
I'm sorry, everybody. I can't find the Iranian cactus.
You were looking it up?
Yeah. The word cactus is derived from Latin, though.
Huh.
Which comes from ancient Greek cactus. So maybe?
T-I-L. Alright, so Kelbolos is like, yep, if you want Corey, aka your girlfriend, you're gonna need to go to Japan and
There's a Muramasa.
figure it out. But first, we gotta save Tara Reid again.
Mhm.
Sharknado 4.
The Sharkening.
The Sharkening.
I think that is the actual
Is
title.
it?
I can't wait for a Jaws Sharknado crossover movie. That would be so amazing.
Jaws NATO?
Yeah.
Ooh, I'd watch that. So for those of you that, so Heroes making really quick work with this shark segment. The final shark or the final thing left underwater is exceptionally fast. If you let the stingray be the last thing alive, good luck catching that stingray. So you can see here that Hero has one shark left, and it is going in between the forks every time he shoots. Welcome to Maru's mission.
Luckily, he's almost done with it.
Alright. Oh, look at that, we're greeted with a pit immediately. So at this stage, you have sumo wrestlers you have to deal with, and if the sumo wrestlers get a hold of you, they hold you and then start kicking you around. The guys with the big noses can kind of break into threes and shoot lightning down. So Hero has the Comet power-up. In these stages here, if you get the power-up that puts you to the end of the stage, it's good and all, but if you run into a sumo wrestler with that power-up, you get caught and get thrown around. You don't get to skip to the end of the stage. So here, Hero is going to face off against Neo. And there's two phases to this boss. Basically, Hero's going to want to try and stay on the bottom part of the ground and try and pull Neo down. And then Mash and just kind of tank a little bit of a whip that he has. No big deal. No big deal.
And hopefully not soft
and hopefully
block.
not soft block. And then Neo is going to break and the head is going to come off. What Hero needs to do is get underneath of the head, which he got really bad luck with that whip, and smash underneath the head and try and explode at the same time. So
Oh man, I
Hero,
thought
yeah.
I had disappeared for a bit there.
Hero had got really bad luck with that second whip, so. And whenever Maru is getting hurt, Maru cannot attack. So you need to not be with you gotta be not being hit by the boss either. So you can see how fast health can drain in this game. And then Hero is about to go into the final stage of Maru. Here we have Smart Alec going against Gollum, and Gollum immediately turned it into the ball. So now Smart Alec has to dodge everything that Gollum is about to throw at him. So
Yeah, and it does not have a lot of health anymore, so this
No.
might go really, really bad. And like I said before, he can stay in this form for minutes, so...
yeah, you can see right here, he has no intention of coming out of ball form. And there's a lot of stuff on the screen.
Oh,
he turned right back into ball form again.
This might be rough. Oh. He better get a lot of those souls.
We're sure he better farm for the next level so that he has enough.
Oh, he got hit after the boss was dead, by the way.
Amazing. Great programming.
So here, we're going against the final boss on Hero's screen. Hero has a ton of health. He has nothing to worry about with health at all. The final boss is going to throw its sword at you, and you're just going to tank the sword hit and just mash to take down the boss. this in the European and American version of this game, this boss is easy peasy, the cakewalk. The Japanese version of this game has 2 phases. Phase 1 where you can see him, and Phase 2 where you cannot see the boss anymore. You have to guess where the boss is when you to kill him. So
It's fine.
it's good.
Japanese mythology.
So here we go, Hero finishing off the final boss, and we'll split when the screen transitions to black. And that is Baru's mission. At the end there, you and your girlfriend jump around on the turtle, and that's it. So now we're on to Rodland. This is a game.
This is definitely a game.
So the way you
Not
beat
something you
stages, in this game is you either collect all the treasure and then kill the enemies, or you just kill the enemies, right?
Yeah, indeed. So there's literally no point in getting all the items but just to get a higher score. What you can do, however, if you get all items and kill an enemy, you will get like the letters that form extra, and that will give you an extra life. So you can farm those if you're having trouble with this game. But yeah, you shouldn't have too much trouble if you play through it once or twice. Then you have figured out how it works. Only the boss fights in this game, the first time you encounter them, might be a little awkward, but that's pretty much it. We do play the Japanese version of this game because in the American version or the European version, you actually only get 3 lives from the start, which makes clearing this game a lot harder. In the Japanese version, you have 10 lives, which is more than enough to get through this game.
There is
also,
no American version of this game, by the way.
Oh yeah, it's a European one. And also the European ROM that is out there in the world, if you can still find it with all Nintendo's meddling with that. It's pretty much unplayable because it's soft blocks after stage 10.
Yeah, so this game, there's no hit points, it's 1-hit deaths, and there are no continues in this game either. So once you game over, you start the game from the beginning.
So is it Rodland NES or Rodland Game Boy that is obscenely expensive?
I think the NES version, I think this one you can definitely...
I found a
20,
copy of the
25.
European bud for like $25. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely the NES version then that is like hundreds of dollars.
Doesn't surprise me, it's NES. But yeah, throughout this game, you're gonna see the enemies get slammed on the ground. They're gonna turn into various different power-ups. So you get the missiles that shoot in one direction. You have like these little like 4 balls that go sporadically across. You have like a dragon head type thing that shoots fire. There's a lot of different power-ups going on here. So Hero's on the first boss right now. He's got to tickle the crocodiles with his whip. Something to note, the hitbox on Rodland is not good. Even though you whip something, it can still go between you and the whip, and you can still get killed. It's pretty dumb.
It looks like we lost another racer.
Wow.
Smart Alec says he's playing horribly. That's unfortunate.
So, yeah, we can switch somebody else in then. But yeah, that's too bad that he died on. Because after all... Why do you look has to be careful as well, though? Because he just fell into a pit. And hopefully that was the first time.
Oh no, Rave Tuba! All the way back.
At the moment, I think there's still 7 racers left. I think we started with 9 and 2 people gave up. Smart Alex, sadly, because he wasn't having fun anymore. And Mr. PUBG because he was having some issues with his internet connection. So.
I can see the bomb now on Rave Tuba's Maru's mission, and yeah, that seems like an interesting choice.
And like the power-ups that you get in the stages are gone when you fight the boss. So it doesn't matter what power-up you get because you're gonna be using your little X's anyway when you face off against the boss. So let's see if I can get an update for everyone here. 1 minute. Alright, so we have Infinite Mystery on Shinchan. We have Jim B on, it looks like Max, possibly. Glitchless is on Shinchan, and Legs is on Max. So in Rodland, there are, I believe, 40 stages. There's four bosses, I think, 40 stages. And our goal for this is to beat the game indeed. So you'll see the entire game of Rodland played out. So Hero's going against the second boss fight, the whale, that shoots out kidneys from the blowhole. It gets kidneys. I think they're supposed to be little fish, but they look like kidneys. You have to hit the whale in the eyes to kill it, because you have to be a rude person. Oh. But you can see here, Hero got hit. Even though his whip was out and into that enemy, like, it just didn't matter. Like, the whip hitbox is awful.
So you only get 3 lives in the European version, huh?
Yeah. This game is actually pretty tough. Like, it's easy once you know where everything is at, but blind, like, I actually had a pretty tough time with this game blind. Mainly because the hitboxes were so bad.
The thing is, it takes so long to kill an enemy that the others just sneak up on you, man.
Yeah, the bees are the worst for it. Like, when you get to the bees, like, the bees fly around, so, like, the bees can just bombard you, and you just can't do anything about it. So we have Why Do You Look on Rodland as well. And it's interesting to see some of the different strategies that people will take in Rodland. Some people will farm a couple of safety 1-ups right at the get-go. So in World 1, they'll farm a couple of 1-ups just so they have that safety to them. Because like what Beggar was saying, that the enemies can sneak up on you while you are attacking a whole different sprites. So in Rodland, you can actually create your own little ladder as well by pressing, I think it's up and A or up and B. This, if you're chasing after an enemy, will make things a little bit faster as well. A lot of Hero love in chat.
Looks like he's killing Stafino and Setsu. I love how the music ends before the level ends.
The best part is that the music doesn't change either. It's just the same song over and over again. So, yeah. It's good stuff. Like, it's such a cute game, but it's just it's so violent how you take out your enemies. So the bees coming down here, they come at angles, and they slow down, and they fall down slow. And they're just kind of a giant pain. So Hero got a little bit unlucky with that dynamite. The dynamite spans across the entire screen in both directions. If that bee would have walked over a little bit sooner, he could have taken out the bee a bit faster too. But now Hero's about to take on the elephant. The elephant's gonna swoop around. You gotta tickle the ear. Elephants love to be tickled.
So who made this game? Because it has Taito written all over it, but I know it's not Taito, right?
Look real quick. It was made by... According to Wikipedia, Jalico had a play in this.
Another Jalico game, huh?
Apparently. Love Jalico here on Tiny 10. Yeah, Eurocom Jalico. So here you can see on Ariel's screen here, Ariel is shooting the Cheerios at Medusa, and you can see Medusa's hitbox get faster the closer you are shooting the Cheerios back. So when Medusa's blinking white, that's how many hits Medusa is taking. So the further away you are, the further the travel time is for those Cheerios. So it takes a little bit longer for them to kill her.
Sorry, I was too distracted by her snake attack.
So here you can see Rave Tuba taking on Iclops in Maru's mission right away. There is like I don't know if it's like an enrage timer or what, but the background, if you don't kill the bosses fast enough, the background gets real crazy and there starts to be stars that come across the screen. I don't know if this increases the boss damage or what this actually means, but it looks scary. So let's see if we get the whip in Ariel's screen here. Oh, we got it. There's the whip power up, everyone. It's so good.
Just clone yourself.
You can't move during the power up either. Like
I almost wonder if it's just the Game Boy calling it wrong sprite.
It probably is, but you can't. That's the only power up that you can't move during.
Alright, I'm back. Sorry about that.
But it's great to farm It's great to farm souls for, though.
Oh, you pick up the souls as well when you're in whip form?
Yeah. So
Just
here we go. Here's on the final boss of Rodland. This boss has, 3 phases? Phase 1, he's like in a small form where you just have to go underneath of him whenever he jumps over you and kind of tickle him. This here, the boss turns into a goat, and you have to tickle his feet.
Yeah, it's 4 forms, actually.
Oh, it's a 4? Okay. So here we have to tickle the knee now.
You pretty much cannot get hit if you're on the
God.
ladder.
Ultra transformation.
Saying,
Tickle his ties.
tickle the thighs. Oh, here I got hit.
Oh, that restarts the boss fight?
Nah,
No,
that was
no.
him dying, actually.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Now, Rodland's done. We did everyone. Now you just seen all of Rodland. Moving on to what is it?
Oh, Gargoyle's Quest 2.
Gargoyle's Quest 2.
Gargle.
Girdle questing, yeah.
Mo, this is your time to shine because I don't like talking about this game.
Yeah, so everybody is pretty familiar with the NES version of this game. This is the same, almost completely. Of course, you have a tinier screen, but that is not that much of a problem in this game because it was already on NES. It was pretty well made for even the big screen and the tiny screen. So there's not that many hazards you have to really look out for that you can't see on the tiny Game Boy screen. This game does have some variety compared to the NES one. That being that there are 2 more levels in this game, but they're completely optional, and they also give you completely optional power-ups. One of them being a homing shot, and the other being an astral form, which you can use to explore the level without getting hit. But once you cancel it, you go back to your starting position where you actually used it. But yeah, for this race, we only play up until the Sand Frog, which is the 3rd boss in the game. There's still like half a game after that, of course, for people who know this game. But yeah, it has definitely no differences. I think maybe the Sand Frog behaves a little bit different than in the NES version. I think either in this one or the NES one, he can platforms that are in the boss room. and in the other version he can. So you have to use some different tactics for sure. But yeah, pretty straightforward game, straightforward platformer. And compared to the first Gurgle Quest game on Game Boy, this does not have any random encounters on the world map, which is a godsend, really.
It really is.
Yeah, because in the first one, the speedruns of that game range from like 100 random encounters to 4 in the record.
Yeah, I think Roguelink has the record, right?
He might have, yeah.
One in a way, and I know, I believe it was Roguelink that has it. But I remember talking to Rogue at GQ, and we talked about I thought about learning Gargoyles Quest 1, and I'm like, no, I don't like randomness. I just want to stop playing Kirby's Dream Land.
Yeah, because that game has no RNG at all. But yeah, first boss here, pretty easy. There are some safe spots, but you also have enough health to deal with him in the first stage. Not the training stage, this is the first stage actually. You can also pick up an extra health thingy that can help a lot. I don't know if the actual speedrun goes for it. I kind of doubt it, because it makes you lose money. Money, okay. Yeah, it makes you lose time, of course, but it is a very good thing to have safety-wise for sure.
Yeah, I mean, GQ2 Game Boy is the same for GQ2 NES, with just the 2 different rooms, like the 2 different dungeons or whatever it is.
Yeah.
So something I didn't talk about with Rodland either is that every boss in Rodland actually has a little bit of a safe strat, or a safe place to it. And you can see on a wide look screen that they've just built a ladder in between the blocks and just hung out in the center there. The elephant won't hit them at all. So
You're free to tickle.
you are free to tickle the elephant. But why do you look? Does have to be a little bit careful with 5 lives left.
Yeah, there's not that many stages left in Rodland,
But it depends how good you are at the final boss. The final boss can pose a little bit of a threat if you don't know how to handle it. So here you can see Rave Tuba taking on Wolfman. We can see Wolfman broke into 2 different personalities there. And then Ariel is taking on Kabasa.
Cabellos. Did he just almost clip through the floor?
It looks like it, yeah. So a bit of an update for everyone. We have Glitchless on Max. Looks like they are going in. They are currently in stage 3 of Max right now. We have Legs on Wave Race. Looks like race 1, maybe race 2. And we have Jim B on the second boss of Max, and we have Infinite Mystery on Max as well. All the races are making really good progress.
Are those people blind mostly, or?
Glitchless is. I'm not sure about Jim B.
I am is probably blind.
I am practiced a little bit, and Legs has practiced a little bit.
On Rave 2 by getting carried. Oh, you lose health as well while getting carried?
Yeah. It's a bad time. It's a bad time. So Rave Tuba does need to be a bit careful here, because they are towards middle end of the game, and they could lose a lot of time here just from dying.
In Gargoyles Quest 1 and 2, the main gameplay mechanic is that your hover bar is very limited, and you have to work around the level trying to get the most out of your hover.
Yeah.
yeah, for with each upgrade you either gain health or you gain stronger wings, which makes you be able to hover a lot longer, and in the end you have a flying ability. But yeah, in the first few levels it's very pertinent to actually know how to use the hover. You have to use it in short bursts to get over a lot of gaps. Otherwise
because
you're just gonna run out.
you can actually make further jumps if you like time your hover. When you let go of the hover button, the bar doesn't go down anymore, but you fall, of course.
Yeah, I mean, you can to jump back to Maru. You can see on Ariel's screen, they killed Neo without getting hit by that whip at all, and then immediately walked underneath the head and shot the head. So what's supposed to happen in that boss fight for a good kill is that when the body's exploding, you're attacking the head as well, and by time the body is done exploding, the head is going to start exploding. That means that you finished it. So it's just one continuous laggy animation throughout the entire seizure-inducing section right there. But Ariel is going on to the final fight with a lot of health, so...
Yeah, also Gargoyle's Quest 2 only came out in Japan, but we are using the English translation ROM, which is something that is not official, of course, but for those people who are actually playing through the race blind, it might help a little bit to talk to the townspeople to see where they actually need to go, even though it's pretty simple to figure out. But yeah, it does help a lot if you can actually understand what's going on if you haven't played this before.
Yeah, I honestly think Gargoyle's Quest 2 is a bit more linear than the first one.
A little bit, yeah.
Then again, the English in the first one doesn't make much sense in the first place, so...
That is true.
Yeah. And the text scrolls a lot. A lot slower in the English version of the first game. In this one, I actually don't, because it's just a ROM hack, so maybe it goes the same speed as the Japanese text would be. I'm not sure.
This is the worst boss, casually, in my opinion.
It's a pretty rough stage as well, yeah.
But here we're making really quick work of Gargoyle's Quest, though. We also found out with Gargoyle's Quest 2 is that if you double KO, so if you die and kill the boss trumps and means that the boss doesn't die. You actually have to go through the entire dungeon again and fight the boss again.
Yeah. As far as we know, no soft locks in this game, though.
Looks like
Not that
Brave
I'm
2
aware of,
game over, then has to go back to the start.
Yeah, that's Maru for you.
That's Maru's mission, yeah.
Oh, Rogue Link, in fact, coming up with a soft lock there, but we're not gonna see that because we only play half the game.
Shoutouts to Rogue Link.
There's softlocks in Game Boy games? What?
No. Definitely didn't softlock at SGDQ this year.
Again, earlier, like I said, with Max, that you can always check out our podcast about that one. We also did one of Gurgle's Quest, so
We did.
I think we speak about both games as well in that, so you can always check that out. And this is Game Boy Podcast. Pretty easy to find nowadays.
Yeah, Google search it, it's like 16 results right off the get-go. It's pretty impressive.
Yeah, you can always check that out, even if you're not interested in the games. If you, like me, an EBC talking in your ear the entire time, that's a good thing to do.
We're actually getting to the tail end of this race. After
Yeah, it's-
Gargoyle's Quest, there's only 2 games left, but one is quite the challenge.
Yeah.
It is, but Hero is used to Battletoads.
I think Hero has ran Battletoads before. At least not. I mean, maybe not like in the full-on like spectrum to like submit it to a leaderboard, but I know he has experience with Battletoads.
Definitely.
So, fun fact, jumping to Rodland now. So, fun thing about Rodland, so you see Ariel getting really, really close to those alligators, crocodiles, whatever they are. If you actually stand the second block away from them, where you just leave a block between you and the alligator, you can actually still tickle the alligator's nose, even if the whip is not hitting the actual enemy. It's actually very safe to do it that way, too. You don't get that, because then it gives you enough room to hit those little babies coming out as well.
Yeah, your whip is actually longer than you see on screen because it's such a fast animation. You do not see the full length of what your whip actually is. So the tail end of it doesn't show actually on screen because it just blinks so fast. You actually have a lot of room to use that thing. I think the best way to watch the other runners who are not on screen is by going to the actual website of Speedruns Live. Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, I
There
guess
are
go to
those
the
little-
thing. Yep.
Yeah. Or you can use that, what is it called, Cadgar or
You can use like the
Multistream.
multi-twitch, Cadgar.
Yeah.
What is it, like there's like a speedrun or speedrace.com thing now or whatever, speedrun TV or whatever.
There's a lot of options for sure, but yeah, the best one is definitely Speedruns Live because anybody who entered a race and set their stream should be showing up there. I just think Infinite Mystery is not showing up there because he's actually streaming from Retro Gaming Live TV instead of his own channel.
Which he is on, looks like the 4th boss, wherever it is, on Max. He's actually doing pretty good.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Hero actually finishing up Gurgle's quest here and going to Out of Gas. And I'm really glad I put this game on the list, actually.
This game is fun, but this is a game where, like, if you didn't practice it, you could lose a lot of time simply because you getting used to the controls is actually pretty cumbersome. Like, it's just like 24/7 ice fist. Think of like Solar Jetman, basically, you know, or like Centipede or something on the arcade.
Yeah, it is a very floaty control. It's not
Asteroid,
unlike
rather.
Wave Race, actually. It's kind of similar. But yeah, it's on purpose that the little space jet ski moves this way at first because you are in space. So there's a little bit of momentum to your movement, which you have to take into consideration. It's not as like driving a tank where you have to wait an hour before it actually turns. This just keeps going.
I will say the cutscenes for Out of Gas for Game Boy is 10 out of 10.
Yeah, definitely. Some of the best sprite artwork ever. It's so good.
So in Out of Gas, like you're seeing on Hero's screen right now, he's got the G's, which is just your straight up, you shoot them, you're good to go. Then you have your numbers, your 1, 2, 3, 4s. You have to shoot them in order, so 1, 2, 3, 4, in order for them to trigger and to collect them. So there is a little bit of thinking involved with some of the later stages in Out of Gas, but for the most part, it's a pretty easy game. The only thing
bumpers.
The only thing to get used to in the game is honestly just the controls. And you don't need to like run into the G's at all to collect them. Because all you have to do is just shoot them.
Yeah. Also, anything on the screen, stuff like that, bumping into them is not a problem. They're just there to be in your way. But there are some that shoot either normal bullets like you are doing, or as you may see later levels like rockets. They do not basically hurt you. They just take away time from your timer. So you wanna try and avoid those so you don't run out of time before you can get all the gas.
Don't want to run out of gas.
Yeah. There are some hidden clocks throughout the levels if you know where they are. If you're getting into a little bit of trouble. Usually they appear when you bump into a specific part of the stage, or if you shoot a specific like tile, and then it appears. Those get mostly used in later levels. This race only goes up until World 3, which is actually a category for this game. So it's World 1, 3, World 1 through 6, and then the complete game. That's a really, really long speedrun. I've seen it being run on something on a marathon, but I don't remember which one it was. Like the entire game as well as back then. I think it was even.
Even? You cut out.
I think it was a race between two people, the full game.
Yeah, I remember when I played this blind that the later levels got kind of frustrating because there's a lot of conveyor belts and they kind of push you in a direction and you can't really go back and you have to like loop the entire level to get a single number.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you don't know where the numbers are to start with, so...
Yeah, if you're going in blind, definitely. Luckily, of course, this game has passwords for each world, so if you're playing it casually, you can just take your time with it. It definitely will take you like 3 hours to get through this game, I would say. At ESA, yeah, that's definitely a possibility, Otter Blues.
I don't remember that.
I think it was last year, yeah.
Oh, that's why I didn't remember it. Probably.
Yeah. But yeah, it's a cool game that a lot of people have never heard about before. Probably because it didn't sell well either. So if you're actually collecting Game Boy, this is one of the most expensive cards that you can actually...
Expensive part.
Alright, sounds like Bang and Mo are having some connectivity issues, so... what do we got going on here? We got Legs into Maru, Glitchless into, looks like Max, Jim B and Max, Infinite Mystery looks like in Max right now as well. The Infinite Mystery on the final boss of Max, so... Out of Gas, like I said, like I kind of compared it a little bit to like Solar Jetman a little bit. You are out in space. It's 360 controls, slippery physics. It's one of those momentum type games where if you're going too fast, you need to stop on a dime. You're not going to stop on a dime. You're going to slide for a bit. So you have to anticipate when you're wanting to stop or when you're wanting to slow down a bit. Again, like I say, you don't need to run over the G's when they're flipped after you shoot them. You just need to shoot them to be able to collect them. So, but Hero is making quick work of Out of Gas right now. He is in no worry of running out of gas. So you can see on Rave Tuba's screen, Maru fell down into a pit, and it goes into a seizure-inducing screen wrap for longer than it ever should. and then Maru kind of like floats in the air above a spike, as if he's about to be impaled, and then miraculously just comes out, no problem. I'm not 100% certain if it is health based or not. If you come back from the pit in the American version, I have been told that some people have game over, fallen into a pit just one time in the American European version. However, I personally have just never seen that happen. But I would believe it. It is Maru's mission, so.
Am I back?
I hear you.
All right.
Can you believe people are still playing Maru's mission in 2018? I cannot. I mean, I can because people requested it for the Tiny 10, but
Every
yeah.
game I request, Molish is like straight up no.
Yeah, same with me. Doesn't want Shaq Fu or Alien 3 in the Tiny 10. I don't understand why.
We're both such like Alien 3 lovers, and just doesn't want it.
We beg boys. That was
Yeah,
weird.
Belgium has fantastic internet.
I think it was just Discord itself because like everything else is working perfectly fine here. So I don't know. It's definitely the curse of Tiny 10. For those of you who don't know what that is, like this is the 8th time I'm doing this, and either I get a blue screen right before everything starts, either I lose my connection. Today I already got a telephone call in the middle of it. It's always something. It's unbelievable.
It's Maru's curse.
Just the Tiny 10 curse.
Yeah, it really is. It's unbelievable.
What was it, the last Tiny 10, I think it was, you blue screen for like the first 3 games.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah, there's always a lot going on when it comes to Tiny 10. I'm always hungover. Like, every single time.
That is your own fault, mister.
Yeah, no, it's not.
Those Saturdays, man.
Yeah. It's alright.
Alright,
So
we
we got-
have,
yeah, why do you look kind of out of gas now, too?
yeah.
What do you guys think is the hardest game blind for this list? I think it's Gargoyle's Quest 2, followed by Battletoads.
Yeah, one of those two, probably. Though Maru's mission could be an issue as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think I would say Battletoads just because it has limited continues. Gargoyle's Quest might be harder to actually find your way, but even if you die, you do not lose any progress. So time-wise, it might take a little bit longer than Battletoads, but Battletoads puts you back to the start, so...
At least it isn't Battletoads and Double Dragon.
Oh,
That
boy.
game is...
I have not been able to beat that yet. It is so hard. It's unbelievable.
But every version of that game is incredibly hard as well.
Yeah. And I don't know about Ragnarok's World, which is the NES port. I haven't played that one yet, so I don't know how hard that one is.
It's just as bad as the NES version, so...
Yeah. Like, I mean, this Battletoads didn't take me that long. I think I did it within 2 hours, so that's alright. But I do know, like, the goal for this Tiny 10 is stage 5, which is a doozy for sure, definitely for blind players. But the game actually picks up difficulty right after that stage. There's like, I think it's a stage right after where you have to do platforming while there's like axes on pillars in the middle of each platform, and you have to dodge them. It's incredibly hard.
Ryland Hero actually lost quite a bit of time here because he couldn't find number 1.
Yeah. So without a gas, I'm pretty sure the numbers don't change location per play.
No, they don't.
They're static, right? Yeah.
Mhm.
He might actually run out of time on this level.
Run out of gas.
Oh, you
Nah,
get a lot of gas back when you actually hit stuff.
Yeah, it's 10 seconds each time you hit one of them, so
Oh, okay, it's fine.
yeah, it's not that bad. It's not until like World 6 where time really gets to be a big problem if you mess something up.
This music, though.
The music is so good. I'm just like in a trance listening to the music.
Gives such a sense of emergency, too.
It's catchy though. It's a catchy emergency.
Yeah, I love this game. Like, I had it since I was a kid, and I always really enjoyed it, even though it's such a, well, not weird game, but
It's different.
yeah, it's very original for sure.
How many levels are in each roll without a gas? Is it 5?
8.
Because that's a logical number.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's halfway between 16, you know, so.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Halfway
8
between
rules.
16 and something else.
Poor Otter Blues.
Yeah. I almost ran to it until I saw Battletoads at the end. I'm like, nope.
Yeah, there's always gonna be one game in each list for every person that is not gonna sit well.
I just don't like Battletoad games.
Mm-hmm.
Hot take, by the way. I know everyone loves Battletoads, but... So you can see on Hero screen, like, accuracy is a pretty big thing. That's why I said, like, it's a lot of momentum, so you have to, like, anticipate when to slow down or when you're gonna turn. Because when you hit the walls, you bounce, and you kind of, like, start to lose a little bit of control when you start bouncing around right there. You kind of pick up some, like, unwanted, some unnecessary speed.
Yeah, ice physics plus space physics equals into a whole mess. So yeah, that actually the white thing that is ice, so it just gets even harder to control your little space jet ski.
Thought Hero was stuck there behind the number 7. Can never trust that number.
It's not a good number.
It's really not.
I don't know what's going on in chat.
So here's the next real question, Mo. When is Micro Machines Game Boy? In the 2010?
Oh,
I do not want anybody to have to sit through that season. Oh,
When is
I'm dreading the day that I have to go back to that.
Do we have Boxel and Hyper Load Runner?
Oh yeah,
We have
yeah.
Captain Duck's favorite Quirk?
Work, yeah. Well, that at least is a good game.
It is a good game. Not as good as Amazing Tater because it has the word tater in it, but you know, whatever.
Yeah, I still have to finish Adventures of Lolo. Also another game I never want anybody to ever suffer through. And if you want to, just go and play the Japanese version that at least stops after 50 levels, instead of the American or European version that has 120 levels plus 5 bonus stages. We did have Wario Land and Wario Land 2 already.
We did, yep. Mario Land 2 was in 2 Tiny Tens ago. And
Yeah,
then,
that was the sixth
yeah,
one. That's
Wario-
Wario Land 2. for
yeah, and
sure.
then Wario Land, Super Mario Land 3 was last Tiny Ten.
such fantastic games.
They really are.
Kirby's Pinball is not a real game. doesn't even exist in the library.
Yeah, I think it's easier to get a high score in Revenge of the Gator than to actually finish Kirby's Dream Land.
I don't know. Should we ask John that?
I don't know. Has he played Pinball Land yet?
I don't think so.
Yeah, he's gonna be stuck for 7 years on that.
I didn't have any issues with it. Then again,
I
like,
normally haven't either until I had to play it for my system challenge, and then it took me what 9 hours or something. Oh,
I like Pokemon Pinball too, and some people hate that game. So
yeah, it's the same engine.
Yeah, it is. It's not a bad game.
Yeah, I love Pinball Land as well, but definitely not as a speed game because the speed run is like 12 minutes. But yeah, get lucky.
yeah, the level Gran and Hero is on right here. You can't stand still. You have to snipe everything along the way.
Yeah, you can turn around and go back, but it's super slow. So
This is basically the PUBG of Game Boy right here. Or the Fortnite, sorry.
Oh no!
Sorry. But Fortnite's the big deal now, alright?
You mean the Call of Duty 4 Battle Royale?
yeah, it's not even the real Fortnite game.
Uh-oh, Gran and Hero missed. Okay,
Just the six.
just missing
You gotta
numbers.
go back around, yeah.
Yeah, it's 2 loops for sure.
And there we go, off he spins.
But he's in the final stage for our purposes anyway.
This is a weird stage. Once you position yourself perfectly, you can just go like one straight path, but if you're 1 pixel off, you keep bumping into every corner of this stage.
Yeah, and bumping is not fun. Like I said, like you start gaining speed, you start losing control, it's just not a good time. And then you get the tracks tank shooting at you.
There we go.
Yeah, that's
There it
perfect.
is. So satisfying.
Oh man, 2 in a row.
And he's done.
There we go.
Moving on. God, look at that cutscene. She's just so bored.
So good. Yeah, I definitely would recommend checking out the entire game just to see all the cutscenes.
The cutscenes are so funny in that game. Oh, now we're on to Battletoads. And
Also known as Jump and Punch,
yeah, also known as Jump and Punch.
because that's literally all you have to do to kill everybody the fastest way. It does leave you open for some attacks, but yeah, it's always the fastest way to do that.
Yeah, and this is the final game of the list. So Hero is on the final game of the Tiny 10 list right now.
Yeah.
Can he do... No, he can't do sub 2, I think.
It's
would
gonna
be-
be hard for
It
sure.
would be real close. He would have to not die. And
Yeah,
he would-
if he doesn't die in the, auto-scrolling stages, that would definitely help. The thing is with those auto-scroll stages is they have checkpoints like the Turbo Tunnel in the NES version, and it puts you back at that checkpoint. So yeah, maybe it's possible, but I think it's like 10 minutes to actually reach the goal. Hero does also not take the safety route during the final part in stage 5. But there is one for people who have troubles with that stage.
We are in the Turbo Tunnel. Well,
Already.
the Game Boy version of the Turbo Tunnel.
Yeah, this is not really the Turbo Tunnel because that one is in Ragnarok's world, of course. But yeah, this is the shoot 'em up stage,
For now.
which has a part where you have to dodge
Yeah.
like in a Turbo Tunnel for sure.
This is probably the best shoot 'em up on the Game Boy.
Nah.
It's a tie between Mega Man 5 and this, for sure.
Mega Lag 5?
So a fun fact on the shoot 'em up stage here that we have, you can actually charge your shot to put a bigger shot out there. I don't know how much that's actually used because you can just smash and shoot as much as you want as well. But these little spike balls here, if you crash into one, I think you die right away, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And they get progressively faster.
Yeah, it is a simple pattern, though. It's really nothing like the Turbo Tunnel where it just gets batshit crazy.
Lots of checkpoints too.
Yeah, for sure.
What's your guys' favorite Battletoad?
I have no idea which is which, so no idea.
It's a hard choice, man.
Yeah, I don't even know who this one is,
They're all
actually.
equally disgusting.
It's Pimple, Rash, and
Zits?
So here we're on the first boss of Battletoads, and phase 1 is to take out the little guns around the mouse head, and then you got this big laser gun in its mouth that you gotta take out. Like we said earlier, like this game does have limited continues, so
Yeah, it has
over. Yeah, so if you game over, then you get to play the entire game again.
Yeah, and unlike the other Battletoads games, there are no one-ups in this one. So it's always just 4 lives per continue, so in total you have 14? Wait, can I count? 12? I don't know.
No,
16
a
lives? I don't know,
number.
whatever. But yeah, there's no possible way to get more lives, I think, unless there's a score-based one that gives you an extra life, maybe.
That's how you take out tornadoes right there. You see a tornado in real life, you just walk up and punch it.
Yeah. True life facts.
before sharks start flying out, right?
Yeah.
So that little like wavy stuff on the ground, I don't know. I think it's supposed to be seaweed or fire or something. I think it's seaweed. I don't know what it's supposed to be.
It's fire. I think
okay,
you're supposed to be.
It hurts you. So this is a boss, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
So this here you're supposed to just jump punch. You can kind of like stun lock it in place. This is the stage that I can't get past because it reminds me of Smurfs too much.
Oh no, it does. On the NES,
This
right?
is
You have to wait for the rocks to come out of the water too, just like in Smurfs. And like the platforming in this game isn't good.
it's not. And not a single Battletoads game has good platforming.
Oh, now we're in Wave Race 2 right now.
Yeah, another auto-scrolling part. There's quite a few of these.
Rare really hated their player base back then, didn't they?
Yeah, they
Yeah.
still do, honestly.
I played through RC Pro Am 2 this week
I'm
on
sorry.
NES, and oh man, good
So-
game, but just not possible.
So you can jump, yes, you can see, you can jump on this little, like, sea-doo thing here, to dodge little whirly guys. I like, this stage is cool, because you get to fight something at the end of it with the sea-doo as a weapon.
Yeah.
Like, I'll give Battletoads that it's fairly creative in what it does when it comes to battling, but I still don't like Battletoad games.
Yeah, it wasn't until the Super Nintendo era that the Rare games actually got to be pretty good. The earlier ones are not that great, but they do have a legacy, of course. They are not bad or anything, but they're usually super hard, which puts a lot of people off.
I gotta say, Battletoads Arcade is a fantastic beat 'em up.
Yeah. But yeah, when it comes to consoles, it wasn't until like the Donkey Kong Country series that they actually put like, well, they always put a lot of effort into their own games, at least.
Yeah.
'Cause for those people who don't know, Rare constantly got hired by LJN back in the day to make pretty much all of their games. So that's why you always see the credits of Rare in a lot of LGN games. But LGN paid very poorly, so they never actually put effort into making the games, and that's why they're all really, really bad.
Here we go.
That way, there's a
We got stage
Smurfs.
5 here.
Yep, running away from the brain.
Run away from Krang. And Hero is not gonna do the safety thing where you just wait for it. He's just gonna go.
He's just gonna go. He's so used to this level that he can make it perfectly.
So towards the start of the stage, you can actually let Krang bounce over you. And you can just basically finish the level from there without having to deal with the thing following you.
To be honest, this doesn't look too bad.
It's once you've done the level like 2 or 3 times, it's okay because you know where to fall and how to fall quickly through like the zigzag stuff. But at the start, it's a little rough. It's like the Tron level a bit in the NES. You know, like if you know when the turn is coming up, you can anticipate it and it's fine. But
Yeah, definitely. They did design this level with some, like, all those spikes that you see in the background are all indicators when there's a turn gonna come up or something. So they did design it well, but because you have to be so fast, it's kind of hard to take in the level the first time you play it and see where you actually have to go. But yeah, it's really not a problem once you know it.
So the boss just loses health over time?
Yeah. He's pretty much done now. It's just a straight stretch from here. Well, and with that, he won Tiny 10-8.
And sub 2?
Sub 2. He did it.
158.53.
GG to Hero.
Yeah, congratulations for that. That's amazing. Let's
It's
give him
fantastic.
a little time for a breather, and then we'll probably pull him in here for some talking.
The level order is so messed up in this Game Boy version.
I mean, it's not the port of the NES. It's just Game Boy's version of Battletoads.
Yeah.
Ragnarok's World has everything in order.
These birds are taking their time, though. Oh.
Oh.
Ooh.
That was close. He's gonna get hit. Oh.
He can do it. Can he do it? Oh.
There it is.
Oh.
Yeah.
So yeah, looks like Why Do You Look is making his way to second place. And then we have Joig Ariel, or however you pronounce that, in third place.
Yeah, as far as I can see. And I guess Rave Tuba is going for that fourth place right now, unless somebody has caught up already.
Mm-hmm.
I think all the others were more blind or had a lot less practice going on. So
Yeah, for sure.
We have Glitchless on Dracula right now in Maru. We have Legs on Kelbolos in Maru. Jim B is in the final stage of Max. Apparently I got a Twitch machine unplugged error for IM. Let's see where he's at. RGL is offline, so I don't know where IM is at.
Yeah, he did have some connection issues, so that's probably why.
But last time I saw that, IM was on the final boss of Max, so I can safely assume that he was on Wave Race.
Rave Tuba getting some extra lives in for Rodland. He is already low for stage 13 for sure.
Let me see if I can pull Hero in here.
Why would you fly a mouse's head as a spaceship?
Well, why would you ride a bike if you're from Mars and you are a mice?
Good point.
Yeah, like, why? Like, are bikes really popular on Mars? Or, like, I don't know.
Is that where the task just goes out of bounds everywhere? I think that's a pretty good task to watch. Like
Is it a
the
Super
mice-
Nintendo game?
Yeah. I think it just goes under the map for every single race.
Great game. Pulling up Lex here on the screen. Yeah, unless, why do you look game overs in Battletoads? Can be sure of that the second place. Just a little update. We are gonna cut commentary and the stream in about 40 minutes, something like that.
Something like that, half hours.
Yeah, we do have a charity event coming up after us. We'll probably see the first 3 people finish, but after that you can just go check them out on the Speedruns live page or in their own channel. But just a heads up that we will end it a little bit earlier than usual. 'Cause yeah, last year we actually went on for 5 hours and we didn't have commentators anymore.
Yeah, Mo and I didn't have a voice after it was done, so...
Yeah.
So you can see that Lake's got the power up that zipper to the end of the stage. That's good stuff.
Saves definitely a lot of time.
It does, yeah.
See Infinite Mystery disconnected from the SRL IRC as well, so yeah, he might have just lost his connection.
Internet issues, yeah.
Yeah, he probably, unless he can't, come back and just continue the games. Because we all know Infinite Mystery, he just likes doing his 24-hour streams. I don't think this one will take him that long now.
No.
Well,
I'm
Battletoads
missing
maybe, if he hasn't practiced it at all. But he definitely won't be stuck in Tetris for 12 hours, so...
Hello, Hero.
Hi, everybody!
Congratulations on first place, and sub 2. That was always
was
nice
really-
to see.
Yeah, it was really nice to get that sub 2. My former PB was 2 hours 1 minute with really bad RNG on Mario's mission.
Yeah, you
So
had
it
some
was-
pretty good luck on Maru.
Yeah, they were decent, the bosses. I was lucky. I had a theory though, because when I played the game more and more, when you mashed through the opening sequence, then Golem would always give you the super bad RNG. And when I started to not spam that cutscene, Golem got better. And if that's just in my head, I have no clue, but I didn't spam the cutscene, and the Golem was pretty nice.
I think, who was it? Rafe Tuba, who got really bad RNG on the Golem?
Yeah, he can turn into a stone like 4 times and drain 400 HP or something, if you're
He-
really bad luck.
He basically turned into a stone first frame of the battle, then stayed in stone for about a minute, unmorphed, and instantly morphed again within a few frames.
Yeah, that was for Smart Alec actually, and
Okay.
and he died shortly after that, and then he gave up because he was
Right.
having so much trouble with everything.
But yeah, I really like this this list of these 10 games. It was a good change of pace when we got to Rodland. I really enjoyed Rodland, and I think I will continue to run that game after this marathon. I have a PB there with only 12 seconds behind of the world record.
Oh,
so
damn.
with some,
Nice.
with some what do you say, management of the enemies a bit better. It should be all right. I've learned a quick kill on the bosses and stuff like that.
So going
Yeah,
into this race, like you did a lot of practice, right? What game were you the most nervous about going into the race? And which game were you the most comfortable?
Out of Gas was the worst game for me. I just had a hard time picking that game up. It didn't set into my brain how I was supposed to play that game fast. I had a plan of like printing out maps on every single stage and have them in a stack here on my desk and just throw the map whenever I completed one. But I got better and better slowly at the Out of Gas. So
Tool assisted.
yeah, almost. The easiest game for me was Battletoads. I tried to speedrun it last year, and a lot of
Yeah, I'm not
things
gonna do
just was there in my muscle memory still. So that's the
so
easiest and the hardest game, I'd say, for me.
Yeah, I know watching you do, what was it, 3-7? The one where you actually have to like watch it, like angle your ship perfectly to get through that. I'm just like watching, I'm like, man, I remember playing Out of Gas and just bouncing just all the time off of the walls and just not being able to do anything because you lose control of your ship so easily when you hit off the walls. But
Right.
We have a second place. Why do you look just finished in 2 hours, 8 minutes, and 34 seconds?
nice.
Oh, that
Congratulations.
could be a PB for him, maybe.
It's a good time.
Yeah, it's a really good time.
So you can see Rave Tuba here spelling some letters for extra to get some extra lives there in Rodland.
There we go.
Yeah, it does take up a lot of time getting that because the cutscene is really long for getting an extra level. You cannot skip it at all.
But as always, Mo, I just have to thank you for organizing Tiny 10. When the list goes live, it's like a AAA game release for me, because Tiny 10 is more or less everything I play on my free time during these weeks of practice. And when these 10 games started, I felt like, oh my god, Gargoyle's Quest is gonna be hard, and I didn't like Out of Gas, but slowly every game just gets to you, and Gargoyle's Quest is one hell of a fun game as well. So I might look into the full run there. I don't know how hard it will be after the Sand Frog. And I don't know if you noticed, but I was super lucky in Gargoyle's Quest at 2 times where I almost died to spikes and lava.
I actually did not see that, no.
Well
Yeah,
done.
that's definitely lucky.
Then everything according to plan.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to see everything, of course, when you're watching 4 people play at the same time.
Well, actually, while watching you, I only noticed one, like, tiny well, not tiny, there was one level in Out of Gas where you kinda had to go through the entire level 3 times to find number 1.
Yeah. I just my brain just shut down there because I thought I had already taken number 1, and then I got to number 2, and I was like, why can't I shoot it? Oh my god! And what I should have done there is, if you press start and select at the same time, you suicide and restart the level.
okay.
So I should have done that, but yeah.
Yeah, it's on the level Ariel is at right now, where it happens.
Yeah, this exact level.
Oh yeah, that one. Yeah. It's strange. Some levels are really strange. How was it picking out these 10 games, Mo? Any game that was like the Joker, or any game that you knew that you were gonna pick from the start?
Max was on the list from the start for sure. And I think one of the other games, but I don't remember. Oh yeah, Maru, because everybody kept requesting that. So
Everyone
those were
wanted
the two games, but Maru was all go game to put in there,
Enter
of course,
there.
because I knew everything that
Thank
could
you.
go wrong with it. We haven't seen that much going wrong with it. Just sad for Smart Alec that he totally got screwed over by Gollum there.
Yeah,
So
and
that-
that could
that was
happen
too
to everybody in the race.
Yeah, he got through it though, so I didn't even catch where he actually died. But he was really, really, really low on health going into the Golem fight. So after that, he probably couldn't hold on
Oh
for
my
much
God.
longer. Because
Thank you.
health management in that game is definitely very important. For the other games, I just picked some random interesting ones. Like Out of Gas was one of the last games I picked because like every time I forget about that game, and I was like, oh, this is definitely the time to put that in. Wave Race was a little bit weird to pick maybe because it's the first time I actually went out to look for a race/boards game that would fit perfectly. Luckily this one is really easy, especially the goal that we did. But it's gonna be hard to find other sports games that fit well into.
Rally.
Yeah, that one is too long.
What? It's
Jack-
like
Jack
15
Boo.
minutes.
If you can play the game, yeah, then it's 15 minutes.
Oh,
But,
it's
yeah,
easy.
I don't know.
Jack Fu is 6 minutes.
Yeah, but it's also only holding down, down.
No.
Yeah,
No,
and pressing A. So.
It's you have to swipe to the direction of your opponent as well while holding down.
Ooh, such tactics you need for that.
I'm just saying, Shaq Fu for Tiny 10-9.
Yeah, I'm just not gonna do it.
Do you want more races, CBC, or do you want less racers? Or runners, I mean.
I bet we'd get more runners with Shaq Fu.
Yeah, but then I'm pro Shaq Fu.
The only thing he's interested in is more Shaq Fu.
Yeah. Give me Alien 3 and Shaq Fu in a Tiny 10.
Oh boy.
Expert edition.
We've already had that. We saw what happened to that.
Yeah, we're not doing that anymore. No, the list for 9 is almost completed already, so there's not gonna be too much work being put into that anymore. But yeah, I do have like always a lot of platformers, but I do need some other games to just break them up.
Platformers on Game Boy, really?
Yeah, so little of them.
The
Only
main
puzzle games are
Yeah.
even less. Yeah, they're hard to find anymore.
Yeah, finding the correct puzzle game is always a challenge because finding a good goal for them is difficult.
Yeah, there are definitely a lot of good puzzle games that we could use, like Quirk Going Out is definitely a good category. The only thing is that once you know it, you can do it in like 2 or 3 minutes, and what's the fun in that anymore? To put it in something like this, that's where Brain Drain was good, because it is a little RNG heavy because it's always random. Even though, like, if you know how to figure out those puzzles, it's pretty easy to get through, of course.
Burning paper.
Burning Paper, yeah, I still have to check that game. I know what it is, but I don't know if there would be a good goal for that. What was one of the other ones? Lock and Chase?
Ooh, yeah, Lock and Chase.
Yeah, so it's... Yeah, we're gonna have to find a good goal for some of them. What was the other one?
Quarth.
Yeah, Quart, indeed.
Pull flip.
Hmm?
We have pull flip.
Pole
Flip,
flip?
Flipple, I think.
Oh,
Flipple, yeah, there it is.
yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah, or like Daedalian Opus is a really cool one, but it's also not random, so once you know it, it's probably too easy. Like, the puzzle games really need a form of RNG to them.
Have we had Tetris 2?
No, only the normal Tetris, but yeah, Tetris 2 would maybe be puzzle mode and not just normal
Yep,
mode.
definitely.
Yeah.
Using butthead.
That's a good game, but
It is.
yeah, that's too long, so it would be New World 1. So yeah, it's always hard to choose for sure, because what you want to do is put in full games, preferably. But yeah, some are too long or some are just too hard. Like, I would love to have Tekkaman Blade in it, but that game is so hard.
Pop
that
and
it's just
Twinbee.
not fun. Pop and Twinbee, yeah. Yeah, people always love shmups.
Can't speedrun a shmup.
Yeah, cannot do it. It's impossible. But yeah, we have plenty of games left. Like, so we had 80 up so far. Just remember, there's like 1,073 games on Game Boy officially. So
Officially, there's some very good recent stuff coming out as well.
yeah, I can't say anything about it though.
Same.
But yeah, that will be revealed soon enough for sure. But yeah, I don't think we can do that though. Put something like that in. I don't know. Maybe it would be cool. I don't know. Because that game actually would be a really cool fit.
I think didn't the Big 20 have Battle Kit at some point?
Yeah, it did in this last Big 20. That was the mystery blind game.
Very mysterious. Nobody could have guessed that. Such
Yeah,
a popular
new
game.
games are definitely a possibility, I'd say.
Yeah, for sure. Like, that one would be really cool, but it would also need a goal, I think. We'll see. And I don't think I want that. Yeah, I don't think I want to get a Snake Bird. I can't even finish the first level. It's too hard for me. It's just too hard. But yeah, I'll pull up my research list here if I can find it. Where is it? Because I did already announce one of the games, but I don't remember which. Oh yeah, Little Indian in the City is gonna be one of the games from the next Tiny 10 for sure.
You announced the Punisher as well.
Oh yeah, and the Punisher Ultimate Payback.
Bold move on that game.
Bold move, yeah. It's yeah. Maybe put that as a last game. Nah, it's not that hard.
It's not if you know where things are.
Yeah. But even then, like, blind, it took me like what, 45 minutes to get through the game, so it's
I think
not
it took
that
about
bad.
an hour to do it blind.
Yeah. What else do I see? A Mega Man game will show up again for sure. So it's gonna be either 3, 4, or 5, half of the game. That is up until you like defeat the mid boss and go to the second set of robot masters. That's something that we can definitely do. And then there's like a whole bunch of games that need research, or it's just some people playing it to see what would be either a good goal or if it's viable as a full game.
When's
Sumo
Pokemon?
Fighter. We already had Pokemon.
Yeah, I'm never doing that again.
That was awful.
Yeah.
Sumo Fighter, though, if you guys are wanting to route a Game Boy game, I already did some of the base routing. Go do Sumo Fighter. It's a really fun game. It honestly is. It's like Rygar and Ninja Gaiden like mixed together.
Yeah, it's definitely fun, but at this point in time, the speedrun is not sad enough to actually include it.
Yeah.
There's a few other games that are very popular, like Final Fantasy Adventure / Mystic Quest, or even Froggy Game. But those games have such a slow intro to them that it's not really fun to put them.
Wait, you're worried about a slow intro, but you had Wario Land 2 in the Tiny 10.
Battletoads!
Yeah, but that was at least once that game. It's fun, but like Froggy Game and Final Fantasy Adventure have a lot of cutscenes to them, and we tried that with Pokemon, but it's just not fun. Just sitting there through that intro section. So.
Well, Pokemon is just so reliant on like getting the perfect stats right away.
Mm-hmm.
So here you can see Ariel now in Battletoads as well. I'm gonna try and make quick work at this game here and take 3rd place. While we have Rave Tuba and Rodland and Scene. I don't know what scene they're in. Scene Extra right now.
So Mo, when's Tiny 10 Color Edition?
I'm not organizing that. I'm staying far, far away from the Game Boy Color library.
Good job.
Plus, it would only be 1 edition anyways, and it would be over.
Yeah. It would have Metal Gear on it, and that's it.
I don't think you can actually get a decent goal for that. The intro is like 12 minutes.
The intro
Yeah,
is long.
it's always such a problem. Yeah, what else would you have on? It's like Oracle of Ages or Oracle of Seasons, but probably both because otherwise you can never get to 10 games. Again,
you could
very
always
boring
use-
intro.
You could always use the color editions from, like Castlevania Adventure for Game Boy Color and
Yeah, no, that's
all original Game Boy.
Type TX.
Oh no, that's bad.
no, please don't.
That's a really bad port.
Yeah. Well,
And-
Tomb
and I have-
Raider is kind of an okay game on Game Boy Color.
Resident Evil Gaiden.
Oh
Yeah, which
no.
nobody can understand. Well, I guess there's an English translation for it.
Doing this all for Bangor right now. He wanted it. He's gonna get it. Or with the Tiny 10 Advance. There's only one good Game Boy Advance game in the world, so it doesn't matter anyway.
Chin-chan Cinema World.
No,
Yeah,
it's
there's a lot of
Barbie,
good ones.
Barbie the Magic of Pegasus.
Oh yeah. Mary Kate and Ashley Olsen's Sweet 16 License to Drive.
Oh, but then we can have
Has,
the,
like, 20
the
games.
South Park game.
Yeah, that's true.
Oh yeah, the newly released South Park game for Game Boy
Yeah.
Color.
Yeah.
Or the Vanilla Ice game.
Yeah, but that one we can't get, sadly.
No.
Too bad that we can't get that one.
Really shame.
Yeah. Because it really looks like fun.
It kind of
I'm
did. Well,
gonna
it's
say
based off
thank
of
you.
Yeah.
Sorry for interrupting.
No, you're
but
good.
I'm gonna say thank you. I need to just take in this victory.
Yeah, for sure.
All right.
Thanks for
super
hopping on,
thanks
Hero.
again, Mo, for organizing this. Thanks for Speed Gaming for restreaming it, and of course thanks to Iblood Candy and Banjera for the commentary with Mo. I will watch this stream later tonight when I can't sleep because I'm too curious about what you guys said about everybody in the race. And super thanks
it wasn't nothing
to
good,
everyone
so-
watching. Yeah, I know. So that's why I want to hear it, so I can rub it in your face next time.
Yeah. No, thanks a lot for joining. It's always cool when people put a lot of effort into playing these. Sadly, we didn't have much more runners, or that a lot of runners had to forfeit or couldn't make it. Like Captain Duck, for example, he's usually your adversary for these days, but he couldn't make it either. So yeah, thank you definitely for joining, and congrats again on getting first place.
Yeah, I'm now gonna play something like Mr. Taco on my Switch or something when I don't have to play Game Boy games all every evening and weekend.
Yeah, until in 4 months when the newer list gets released.
Yeah, I can't wait. Yeah, super thanks. Have a great evening, everybody.
Later, man.
Oh, there you can see the ending to Maru on Glitchless's screen there.
And Rave Tuba is getting kidneys thrown at them.
Sprinty Legs is waiting for Kelbolos to come onto screen so they know where they are. Because you just never know where they are when they jump off screen. It's an awful fight. What a dumb fight. So an update: Jim B is on Dracula and Maru's mission. I don't think Infinite Mystery is back on yet, so I'm not sure where he is.
Yeah, I don't see him anymore.
He was on Wave Race when he got disconnected, and the other racers you see here on screen right now.
Yeah, if Infinite Mystery can't come back today because of his internet issues, he probably will do it all over again on another day when he actually has internet.
Probably. So you can see on RaveTube's screen them trying to throw the whip at the character, and just the hitbox on the whip is just it's really bad. Like if you get them up against a wall and you want to try and like whip them around, you need to actually be a decent ways away from them to actually wrap them up and utilize the whip. Otherwise, the hitbox doesn't trigger, and then you just get hit and get killed.
Yeah, I don't know what RaveTube's experience with Rodland is, but yeah, I don't know. I think he hasn't played this before. Maybe. I don't know.
I'm not sure. It is a game like Blind. The game took me like 45 minutes to an hour, I think.
Yeah. But maybe he doesn't know that you can just kill all the enemies. Because I think he really is going for all the flowers or whatever every time. I don't know.
Then we got Ariel here in the Sea-Doo section. Wave Race 2. About to go into Tron stage once Sia takes out the boss.
I must say, Glitchless is doing pretty well for actually going in blind.
Yeah. Glitchless is doing a fantastic job going into this list blind.
Battletoads does have some catchy music.
Yeah, it does some things right.
Yeah, I'm not sure who the composer for Battletoads is. Is it also Dave Twice? Or is it Grant Kirkhope? I'm gonna look this up.
No clue. We haven't done a podcast episode on it, so I didn't look it up.
Yeah.
So, while we're in home stretch here for showcasing Tiny 10 number 8 on Speed Gaming, if you are looking into wanting to get more into Game Boy, whether it be casual playthroughs, hardware technical stuff, software technical stuff, speed running, the Game Boy community is fairly open to pretty much anyone willing to help out, even if we don't know much about the game. We'll sit there and at least theory craft with you on things what you could possibly do if there's no runs of it, or if the runs are stale, there's no tasks, etc. We're pretty accepting, I'd say.
We have a fairly active technical issues thread as well, where because Game Boy does have kind of a more difficult intro step into speedrunning. We have a lot of people that know quite a bit about Game Boy, and they can help you out there.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, there's a lot of people putting a lot of effort into checking everything out, like when new emulators come around and stuff like that. So it's always nice to see. You can see Jug Ariel doing the trick in the stage Battletoads, by the way, where he lets the rock or brain go in front of him, so you don't have to worry about it anymore. I did not even know it was a thing until
I didn't know you could do this either.
Video.
We have a thing called no for this goal is no out of bounds, because in stage 5 you can actually clip out of bounds and just pretty much fall to the end of the stage.
Yeah. But yeah, stage 5 was a nice way to end everything, because it's a pretty difficult level unless you know it, and yeah.
So the boss health doesn't actually matter, it's when you reach the end of the stage?
Yeah, you do have to go through the checkpoint at the end of the level to finish it. So. And I can confirm David Wise did the soundtrack for this game.
Thanks, Windows.
And Ariel clocking in, probably gonna be easy third place here.
Yeah, it seems to have a bit of issues with the stream, but
yeah, he finished
some
already.
lagging.
so yeah, Chug Ariel finishes third in 2 hours, 32 minutes, and 5 seconds.
So we got our top 3 finishers there.
Yeah, and that's usually the Thames. That's a river. That's usually the times that we go for when actually making this list. Sub 2 hours is always possible. With a good lot of practice, you can definitely get
Third
that
place!
sub 2 or being close to 2 hours for the 10 games. With little practice, 2 hours and a half to 3 hours is usually
2:32.
the goal. And yeah, blind, that's a total different thing, of course, but yeah.
I mean, when Mo chooses these games, he does try to pick the games that are going to be a bit friendly to the blind people as well, just because we do have some racers that do enjoy these types of games going into them blind. So that's why when we say like Alien 3, like we're kind of joking around because that game is not blind friendly by any means at all. So
It's like 20 minutes if you know the game, and if you don't know the game, it's 8
Yes, I'm
hours
gonna
or
host
something.
someone that is doing this blind. Okay, so
we have commentary apparently.
Yeah, from Chug Ariel. Another one of those games is Adam's Family, where the speedrun is 1 minute and 30 seconds. And
Yeah.
blind, that's just a long game.
Yeah.
Which was part of the expert edition or pro edition.
Sure
yeah,
was.
But we did all bosses then,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Indeed.
Because there is just such an enormous difference between the any percent and actually playing the game.
It's a fun game, though. I really like that game.
It's definitely one that grows on you.
Yeah, and like compared to Bugly Scavenger Hunt, it's
Oh.
an amazing game.
Don't mention that game.
It's not a good game.
Yeah, eventually we're gonna have to play every single Game Boy game, man. In Tiny 10. Tiny 10 number 170 is gonna have the final
The final game.
Game Boy What would the final game be?
Whew, that's a very good question. Because we pretty much did all the popular ones already, so none of those for sure.
Trip World, because that one's so bad, right?
We already had it in Tiny 10 number 2.
Yeah,
I know.
Yeah. The speedrun of that game is amazing. Well, of that tech demo is amazing.
The entire game. Wow. Did you see that people are just destroying that game right now lately? Like, there's a bunch of like sub 630s in the game now. By a bunch, I mean like there's 3.
Yeah, that's for Game Boy leader. So, but yeah,
There's a
that's
lot of runs for
definitely
Trip World on it. There's like
Yeah.
what 20s. Nothing compared to Kirby's Dream Land though.
yeah.
You're just dreaming that.
yeah, that's it.
Dude, I have the SDA world record, you know?
That's still a website?
Apparently.
Poor SDA.
No, SDA was one of the first sites I went to when I started speedrunning because there was
Same.
nothing else relevant.
Yeah.
So
yeah. We all saw SRL actually. Well, not SRL. Speedrun.com come into existence.
Well,
Yeah.
I saw SRL come into existence.
Yeah, yeah, that was way before my time. I don't think there has been a Game Boy Advance marathon at all. There is
No.
Handheld Heroes, which covers a multitude of handheld platforms for sure.
All handheld
Oh.
platforms except for the
Mhm.
Nintendo Switch.
Yeah, that one doesn't count.
The Fairchild
That's also
Game
There's
Child.
there's
was
only
it?
I gotta say like there's only like 20 some games for the Fairchild, so you'd be done after 2. And you can't beat any of the games for the Fairchild.
The Fair 20.
Just one and done. I don't know what is out there. You got like what? You got the Big 20, so you got the NES, you got the Super 16 for SNES,
yeah,
You
the
got
Master 16,
the
or
Master
15?
16. I think it's
Yeah.
16
Yeah,
for the Master System. And you
Master
got Tiny
8
10.
doesn't sound too good, does it?
No. What else? Yeah. Oh, RGL does had like an Atari one. They did the Tiny 10 remix. They've done their own version of like a Big 20 type deal.
yeah.
The RGL does a lot of crazy stuff like that too. So, yeah, Handheld Heroes. Like we do a marathon every summer and around July, sometime after SGDQ and before ESA, where it's just like a weekend long marathon for all speed runs on a handheld device. Like the first year we had a Wonder Swan, which was awesome.
Yeah, we need more Wonder Swan.
If you guys can figure out how to pull video off of the Wonder Swan, I would stream my Wonder Swan. But I'm
Yeah, I
too
still
cheap.
don't have one, but yeah,
I'm
it's
too dumb to
definitely a
figure it
system
out.
I'm interested
I'd
in.
stream Game & Watch games, but you can't even emulate those apparently. So
Well,
So
most
yeah,
of them are on Game Boy anyways.
Game & Watch Gallery. But yeah, I think we're gonna start wrapping up here. I know Speed Gaming has something starting at around 3:00, I believe. So they wanted us to wrap up at about 3:00 my time. Sorry, 4:00 Eastern. So they wanted to start wrapping up about 10 minutes beforehand. So hope you guys enjoyed this Tiny 10. Like, what did you think of Tiny 10? If this is your first time watching a Tiny 10, what did you think? If you're a veteran watcher of the Tiny 10, what did you think?
Yeah, and we'll be back with 9 around April, May. So anybody who's interested in participating, you can expect the list to be out 2 months before that usually. Usually after Big 20, basically. Because they also do it twice a year, so you can definitely join in this. It's pretty easy accessible actually to join these, so that might be a good idea. Yeah, if you want more information about the Game Boy speedrunning, like EBC mentioned, just go to gbrunners.com. If you just want to find out more about Game Boy games, you can listen to our podcast, which is called This is Game Boy. I want to thank Fiesel and the other people, the volunteers for Speed Gaming, for helping set this up. Like always, it's great that we can have a slot on one of the channels to actually reach out to a lot of people so they can actually watch this. Thanks Man Over Mars for the amazing art, like always. It's he does it for free for us, which is really cool. But yeah, he's also part of our Game Boy team, basically. So yeah, go definitely check out Man Over Mars. Thanks to my co-commentators, EBC and Mangara, of course, for shipping in here. Especially
and
with all the...
thank you, Mo, for organizing everything.
Yeah, for sure.
Always a lot of stress, that's for sure. I can tell you that. Today was fine, though. It was pretty cool. But yeah, thank you everybody in chat for watching. Thank you to all the participants. And if you want to see more, just go check one of the people who is still playing. You can see more of that if you like just tuned in or something and you want to see more games. And yeah, congrats again to Gran and Hero first place, I forgot his name, second place.
Why do you
but
look
it's still
second
here.
place?
Yeah, why do you look
Wow.
second place?
Wow.
And Ariel for third place. Good game, guys. And success to everybody who's still running at this point.